And here we are for session 6 of our Dungeon World campaign. In our last session, our heroes, on their journey back to Gallenmeet to continue rooting out the source of this blight that has been besetting the land, they heard a legend of a bard who had made the acquaintance of Glog and Durkir, of an ancient tower which was the prison of a deathless sorcerer who had attempted to usurp the power of the gods. And there were rumours that an ancient hero called Sir Oscar had travelled there, carrying a holy blade forged of the tears of Moog, the storm god. He'd obviously succeeded in his quest since the gods were still as they were in the heavens, but he had not returned, and it was assumed he had been slain in the tower and his sword lay amidst his remains. This obviously piqued the interest of Glog, whose tribes follow Moog as the god of weather and the storms. So they travelled north to this tower, eventually making their way in there, Rufus disarming a trap on the door. They encountered some animated cadavers while they were in there, skeletons, fought their way up to the ceiling of the tower and to the roof beyond it, where this undead sorcerer was attempting to make this magical working to open a portal to elsewhere in the land that he could travel through, freeing himself from his imprisonment. They attempted to prevent him, but unfortunately, although he was grievously injured, the undead sorcerer Jasper Sursk was able to flee through the portal, hotly followed by most of our heroes, finding themselves in the holy city of Amarana, the place where Sanya used to live with his wife before her untimely death, and where Rufus had first made his name as the White Raven by stealing a particularly lovely painting from the ruler of the city. As they found themselves back in, so beyond this portal in the holy city of Amarana, they realised the portal was one way and they could not get back. As the portal closed, leaving Glog and the bard Buffkin Samaranth on the other side of the portal, our heroes look around. Durkir, the cleric, has unfortunately been taken down by the wounds that he received at the hands of Jasper Sirsk and is lying on the ground. So we begin our scene with this huge palatial city of tall white buildings. There's an injured man lying on the ground cradling his foot. We see that it is Rufus, the bottom of his heel having been sliced off by this closing portal. Sanya is stood next to him. There's a small puddle of blood on the ground. He's like bandaged up his foot. As we join them, we find them looking around in the harsh, cold sunlight of the slightly more northern climes of the holy city of Amarana. The snow is falling heavily. It's very cold here. The sunlight glints and shines off these bright white buildings all around them, giving the city almost this sense as though it's glowing in the sunlight. And that's where we begin our game. I'm just going to ask our players to quickly introduce their characters. Lloyd, say hello and tell us about your character.
Hi everyone, I'm Lloyd. I'm playing Sanya Kelt, a fuse beside him and uses it to control fire.
Thank you very much. Matthew, say about your character.
Hello, I'm Matthew, as John just said, and I am playing Rufus, the famous or infamous White Raven. A plucky thief who is trying to stay on the right side of the law with his new companions while uncovering a mystery involving an artifact he was involved with previous to this adventure.
Okay, thank you very much. And since Rob's normal character, Glog, was left on the other side of the portal, he's generously agreed to play another PC temporarily whilst the party gets back together effectively. Unfortunately, we're down a couple of players tonight for various reasons. Hopefully they'll be back with us next time. So I'm going to bring Rob's new PC, temporary PC, in as soon as I can. But for now, we're going to jump straight in with Sanya, Rufus, and the unconscious Durkir standing there. A few moments have passed since the event of the last session. Milo, the druid, seems bent on the idea that you should retrieve Glog as quickly as possible, since you all need to deal with this sickness in the land. He has transformed himself into a large eagle and has flown off with the idea that he can get to Glog more quickly sort of using the land to navigate and communicating with the spirits of the land. And as we sort of pick up the session, you guys can just see him as a tiny speck in the distance disappearing towards the southeast, leaving the two of you alone in this small gardened area at the south end of the city. Since you both have spent time here, you would know that these are the public gardens. There are trees all around you. They're obviously bereft of leaves because it's winter. Snow is falling quite heavily. Over to you two.
Rufus is nailed over by Dirk, checking his wounds, trying to put as much weight on his good foot rather than his bad.
Okay, you think Dirk will be okay, but he did take quite a lot of that strange sort of arcane green energy from Jasper Sursk. You're not entirely sure what the overall effects of that will be, because it was like nothing you've ever seen before. Obviously necromancy of some foul kind. It seems as though Dirk is in a sort of coma, effectively. You know that before he left, Milo applied some of his sort of poultices to him and said that Dirk should be alright, but he needs time to rest. His body's trying to heal itself.
Sanya, you should probably find some kind of refuge. Get Dirk somewhere he can rest.
Sonya's looking around a lot at the tall buildings and everything else, just pretty much spacing out at this point in time. He's just spaced out looking around.
Indeed, as you're looking around, Sanya, you can almost see the ghosts, not in a literal sense, but like the echoes of your previous time in the city. It seems so long ago, almost like a different life. You were a different person entirely before your incarceration, before these tattoos were inflicted on you that burn themselves into your soul. You can almost hear the musical laughter of your wife as yourself and her walked down the city, visiting the market, buying goods, all the normal sort of things that people would do, things that didn't seem to matter in the grand scheme of things now. But knowing what you do now and what you've lost, even those everyday activities, you'd almost give everything you have just to spend a day just walking through the marketplace, not even doing anything special, just buying like fruit and veg with your wife again.
I'll sort of be in this sort of moment just in my head for a while, and then I'll hear Rufus talking about Dirk here. And then I look down at my hands, at my incredibly burnt, scarred hands and the manacles that hold me still. And then I'll breathe a sigh. Then I'll turn towards him and go, "You're right. We need to find somewhere quiet, safe. It's been a few years."
Can you remember whereabouts the city we're at? I'm not familiar with this part of the city.
This is the gardens. It's different to what I last remember. I haven't been here in 10 years. But there's got to be somewhere up there. There's got to be some kind of inn, some place people go, travelers. If we go in there, we keep it low. It's late enough that no one will know who we are.
Okay, at this point, come on. I'm going to ask Rufus, can you please make me a roll plus charisma, since you are returning to a civilized place where you've caused trouble before?
Oh, why are you going to be like that, John? So it's a 7 with my charisma score.
Okay, so on a 7 to 9, word has spread of your deeds there, and you will be recognised by a lot of people in the city. In addition, I also choose a complication which will become obvious. As you're walking down this street, you're sort of like, you've basically got one of Dirk's arms over like each of your shoulders. You're carrying him between you because he's obviously wearing armour, etc. He's quite heavy. So as you're sort of like dragging him through the streets, Sanya, your eyes drift to your left slightly, and as you're going past these tall white buildings, you see that there's quite a lot of like almost like posters and parchments, etc., stuck on the walls. Most of them are talking about prayer meetings. There's obviously prayer's a very big thing in Amarana, since there's temples to all the deities, although the temple to Gatan, the Lord of the Earth and the Deeps, is the largest of the temples. Pretty much all of the gods are worshipped in this city. Indeed, the city is ruled by a high priest, effectively a hierophant, if you will. However, that's not what catches your attention. As you're just sort of looking at them, sort of staggering a little bit under the weight of Dirk, you spot just poking out from under the edge of some of the other posters, like they've been pasted over a few times, you catch sight of what appears to be quite a reasonable sketch that looks a bit like a younger version of Rufus.
I sort of pause in my foot, and I stare at Rufus for a second, and I go, no, this is no. And I sort of go up, and I'll try and get the poster properly.
Yeah, you grab it, and there's a as you peel it away, and it says, "Wanted, the White Raven Grand Theft, 2,000 coin reward."
Rufus! And I'll show him, I'll basically come up and I'll put a poster in front of his face, like,
yeah,
do you want to talk about this another time?
Well, now's not the best. But you know how you always joked that the White Raven was a name I just came up with? Well, turns out I am famous.
I was young and I needed the money.
Yeah.
As you're saying this, you see like a peasant wearing the sort of furs that are prominent in this sort of northern clime of the world come walking around the corner, and there's a party of 6 armed guards with him, all wearing white and green livery of the holy city of Amarana. As they walk round, you see the peasant sort of doesn't point at you guys directly, but he points at like the spot where you guys appeared, which obviously you've moved a little bit on from, and he's like, that's where I saw it coming from. That's where I saw it coming from.
Time to go.
We gotta go now.
Gotta go.
I'm not going back to prison, Sonia.
Okay.
I'm not going back to prison.
So if you guys are trying
So
to
if that's your worst worry.
if you guys are trying to make a run for it and get away before they spot you, it's going to be a defy danger roll plus dex.
Both of us or just one of us?
Both of us.
All right.
Dex is my middle name.
Dex is not my middle name.
So that's going to be 11.
Oh, you lucky bastard. Well, that's too bad because I got a 7. Never mind.
Okay. So that's not a problem. You both effectively, you're like a ghost, Rufus. You're just like gone down an alleyway. As soon as you see him, you just take off. But it's almost as though your feet start reacting before your brain's even had time to process what's going on. Your instincts.
I'm doing it on one foot as well.
Indeed. But that doesn't seem to be slowing you down. After all, you know the back alleys of this city, almost like the back of your hand. As you look back, you can see that Sanya's also slipped down the alleyway, but he's not keeping up quite as much. He's obviously not as familiar with like the back alleys of the city as you are, so he's a little bit behind you, but he does appear to have sort of slipped into the alleyway as well. As from your position, you can still hear these guards walking down the street, Sanya. You see them walk over to the spot where the portal was that you've appeared from. It's now closed, obviously, and there's just solid ground there. The guard looks down at it and says, "Well, there doesn't appear to be anything now." And he's like, No, I told you, honestly, it's another one, Captain. It's another one. I saw it, clear as I'm standing here now. Flew right up into the sky, Captain. He says, "This is indeed troubling. I will have to take news to the Hierophant of this. The prophetess did not speak of this."
Oh, goody.
The guard turns to his second and says, "Double the watch on the public graves." The other guard says, "Sir, are you sure that'll leave us precious few men to be out on the streets?" "You heard me. Double the guard." Yes, of course, sir. I'll go and tell them right now. And he runs off down the street, like his armour clanking slightly. The guards move over, and sort of like, just as you're like peeking out a bit, saying you can see them sort of poking at the ground with spears sort of in the area of where the portal was.
I don't remember the guards being on such edge last time we were here.
I don't remember them knowing what was coming through. Did you hear them say a thing about graves?
I heard about it. Yeah, I heard him say it. I'm not sure what it means, though.
Well, we did bring a necromancer through that portal.
Yeah. Yes, we did, I guess.
It's just we did it less than a few minutes ago. How did they know?
Let's hope they don't pin us for this one, too.
As you're pondering this, Sanya, from where you're looking out, you see what appears to be a ragged individual. You don't recognise them, wearing sort of tattered clothes, runs out of a side alley, gets spotted by the guards. They immediately run over to him and surround him. They're pointing spears at him, and the lead guard's like, "You there, stop!" At which point the person like stops. Obviously looks looks quite malnourished, quite frightened. You can see it's a fairly youngish looking man, although he's not eaten particularly well. His face is quite drawn. The lead guard points his spear at him and he's like, "Show us your teeth! Show us your teeth!" At which point the man's like, I wasn't doing anything, I swear. The guard's like, "Show me your teeth now, or by all that's holy, I'll have you put down on the spot." At which point the petrified young man opens his mouth. He's like, you see the lead guard captain go, and then he's like, "Apologies, citizen, but please move along and go about your business. I apologise for the inconvenience." At which point the young man's like, "Oh, okay, thank you," and he makes himself very scarce.
I don't know what's going on. Let's get out of here.
I would agree with this desire of action. John, quick question, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a city full of thieves, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Would I be able to detect any signs of sanctuary? You know, like somewhere to hide for a common thief like myself.
Make me a roll. It'll be a... let's see, probably be a discern realities roll. So it's a wisdom-based roll.
Okay. Do I get any bonus for being here before?
You don't.
You
know.
might. I was thinking
Okay.
you might also know some old hangouts if there still exist.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah, that's
You're
already
better
a 4,
than I
John.
do.
Okay, so you get to mark an XP for that 4.
I don't know Jack. Okay.
Now, bear in mind, you've not been here for a long time either, and you know that the thieves
Yeah.
tend to move around quite a lot for obvious reasons. So although you do know some of the local haunts, you're pretty sure that none of them will really be used at the moment. However, as you're sort of like you're looking around, and you've basically like pulled yourself up on the wall of the building next to the alleyway, and you're like looking around trying to get the lie of the land. The edge of the wall crumbles under your hand, and you sort of like fall to the ground. You let out like a "oh" as you hit the ground, as you sort of fall down this building, Rufus. Not enough to damage you or whatever, but as you like go "oh," having hit the floor, Sanya, from where you are, you see one of the guards, his head snaps around. He says, "Sir, I heard something from that alleyway," and they start like.
We need to get off the street, Sonia.
I look at him and go, "You're a thief. You think of something. I only know how to blow things up or set them on fire."
How comfortable are you with sewers?
I'll take anything as long as it's not cold.
Okay. I'm going to look for a manhole cover if such a thing exists in this universe.
Okay, yeah, why not? You look around. You do eventually find like a sort of sewer cover. It's not really like a sort of solid manhole cover. It's more like a sort of metal mesh. And you know that originally Amarana was built on top of a much older city, and the sort of the levels of that sort of undercity became the sewers of the new city. You see this big metal grate, but as it's like in the deep depths of winter and the weather's very cold here, it's pretty much like frozen solid. You can try and pull it off if you wish, but it will be a strength check.
I'll give it a shot.
And obviously the guards are getting closer while you're doing this.
Okay. So it's just a strength check.
That's correct.
2d6, straight down the line. 7
Can I roll
plus
to
2.
help? Can I run aid to help him?
I will say, how would you plan aiding him? Are you just trying to help?
He could melt the snow, couldn't he, with his fire?
Actually, just complain. I mean, like, I just freaking like heat up my hand, just put it in there.
Okay, in which case make your roll to summon the flames, and I'll say if you make your roll, Sanya will effectively ignore Matthew's roll, because it won't be frozen anymore.
Well, I make my roll, even though I got a 4. That's a 5. Oh, never mind. I fail. It's a 6. It's not enough.
I have an XP.
I fail. Yeah.
So what did you get on your roll, Matthew?
Total of 9.
Okay, so 9. I'm going to say you've not got time to heave. You can heave the grate off. That's fine. You've succeeded. However, you've not got time to like heave the grate off, jump down into the sewers, and then pull it back on, so it's not obvious someone went down there. So you can get into the sewers. That's fine. You can succeed on that. But you're literally going to have to like throw the grate off, jump down, and like make a run for it, because these guards are going to be round the corner before you've got time to like and pull it back on.
Okay,
again.
how about a new plan, Sanya? We throw the grate off, then we go away from the grate. Make them think we've gone down there.
I'll follow your lead. Just do something.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that. Misdirection this time. So
you heave the grate off, you throw it to the side of the street. There's a loud like ding 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 as it falls to the ground. Now, where are you guys actually going to run to? Bear in mind, these guards are approaching. You can hear their footfalls almost getting to the
What are
mouth
the
of this
directions we
long
can go
alleyway.
in, John? What's that?
Well, there's a large building on either side. You could try and scale the walls. You could continue down the alleyway and try and like make a sharp turn to try and lose them in this bewildering maze of alleyways.
If we didn't have Dirk here with us carried out, I'd probably climb, but it's just a bit too heavy with trying to lift a dwarf up a building.
Yeah, realistically, whoever's carrying Durkee, you've got no chance of climbing them walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine we'd be doing it between us as we were moving around. So I say we should try and lose them in the alleyways as they investigate the sewers. It'll lessen their numbers. I say as I'm like,
Go.
hopping.
I'm like carrying Dirk with me on my arm, going, I really hate this dwarf so much.
Okay, so I'm going to say that is a defy danger roll for you, Rufus, since you're leading the way. It's based on intelligence because it's relying on your knowledge of the back alleyways.
Oh, goody. So that's a 4.
Mark yourself an XP.
You're doing great leading us, by the way, Rufus. I'm really enjoying
Okay,
this.
you start trying to lose these guys in the alleyway, but they don't fall for your ruse. They look at the snow around the sewer grate, and it's obvious as they look down you've not been there, and they follow the sound of your footfalls through these alleyways. A few times you think you've lost them, but eventually you turn a corner, so both carrying Durkee between you. And to your surprise, Rufus, you see that they've obviously done some like renovation and building work since you were last in Amarana, and there's just a dead end in front of you. You turn around thinking, oh, maybe we've got time to get out of this alleyway, and then you see this patrol of guards, all wearing furs, armour, and this white and green livery, all holding spears, sort of blocking the dead end that you're in.
I look over at Rufus and go, yeah, that was good leadership there. Really appreciate that.
One of
It's been a while.
the person who seemed to be like the captain previously when you saw him, Sanya, steps forward holding his spear out in quite a sort of aggressive manner, and he says, "Identify yourselves."
Oh no, after you.
I insist. No, please take the lead. You're doing such a great job already.
Identify yourselves now.
So my name's Theon.
I'm Aldrich.
And
Nice
this is
to
our
meet you,
friend here,
sirs.
Dirk. We were trying to find a place to rest.
He's very unconscious and needs help.
Yeah.
The guard captain says, "Show us your teeth."
I mean, I'll do what they ask. I don't know why.
Okay, you smile and you notice like a look of relief seems to like come across his face, and he seems to sag a bit to like breathe out. He lowers his spear, so he's holding it by his side, and he says, "Well, I'm sorry about that, but we can't be too careful at the moment."
Can't blame you. You're doing great work
Keeping the city safe.
We are the worst. Doing great work keeping the city safe. Yes. yes. We'll be on our way now. Have a good day.
We should get out of the cold. It's chill out here.
As the guard captain's nodding as you guys are sort of babbling, then like one of his men leans over and taps him on the shoulder and like whispers something in his ear, and you see him like pass a rolled up parchment to his captain. He like
This can't be wrong.
You see him unfurl it, and he looks from the parchment to Rufus, and then back at the parchment again.
I look over Rufus like, have you got a plan? It better be good.
And Rufus is thinking, I'm sure Sanya has a plan.
If only we had slept, I'd be fine. But we haven't, so I can't help you.
At which point the guard captain sort of like, you see like a look of sort of anger across his face, and he scrunches the parchment up in one gauntleted fist. He looks at you, Rufus, with hard, unflinching eyes, and says, well, the White Raven.
The white what now?
I mean, I've been called worse. What?
At which point he like throws this parchment down at your feet, and you can see it's effectively like a copy of the same wanted poster that Sanya grabbed earlier. You see the line 2,000 coin reward underneath it. The guard captain says, well, it looks like we'll be splitting that reward amongst ourselves, boys. Surround him. At which point the guards start sort of like moving down the alleyway with their spears held out.
This is a predicament.
I go. Okay, you have to trust me on this one.
Okay.
And I grab him and I go, the reward is mine! I have claimed him!
Wait, what?
Back off, guards! You will not take them onto me! I go, just follow my lead.
Oh,
Okay.
I am so caught right now. What will I do?
Make me a charisma roll, Sanya.
Oh, God! My charisma, fortunately, has gotten better now. Just hope it doesn't suck too hard. 9, 10! Oh!
Splendid.
So good.
They pause for a few moments. The guard leader sort of holds up a hand and he opens his mouth as though he's going to say something. Then you hear this, and a crossbow bolt embeds itself in the side of his neck, coming down from up above. As you look up, you can see there are figures wearing dark cloaks, sort of peering over the edge of the two buildings on either side of the alleyway that you're in, holding crossbows. The captain falls down to the ground, one hand clasped to his neck, like blood leaking over his fingers, slowly starting to freeze in the cold of the weather. The other guards immediately start looking up and they're sort of like holding their spears up, and there's pretty much these guys who are on top of the roof, like fill these guards full of crossbow bolts. Okay.
That better be friends of yours.
So, Blyleth.
Told you I had a plan.
You and one of the local bands of thieves, you'd heard rumours that after all this time the White Raven had returned to the holy city of Amarana. He'd gained immense notoriety after that breaking into the royal ziggurat and stealing a picture that depicted Hierarch Constantinu and his entire lineage before escaping. Then rumours were that he disappeared out of the city because it got a little too hot for him. You'd heard rumours that he'd returned, and you and this gang of thieves that you run with had gone there to support him. Imagine your surprise when you found him and an associate cornered in an alleyway by a couple of guards. Now, you're potentially not the most violent person in the world, but the criminals you've been running with, trying to get in and find out the local sort of legends and thieves, legends, etc., they're not so bothered about the violence. And before you can really say anything, they've pretty much filled these guards with crossbow bolts.
Okay, so I'm going to say I'm up on the roof with these guys, and I toss a rope down into the alleyway. Okay. Well, you want to wait for the next round?
Describe to Sanya and Rufus what you look like, Blyleth.
I was going to wait until they get closer. I'm going to say I'm still just kind of a shadowy figure up top right now.
No problem.
Do you have a billowing cloak?
One of the cloaked figures gestures, and a rope drops down from one of these buildings. I remember say, "Well."
I look over and I go,
I mean,
you're the leader.
Okay. Do you want to give me a hand with Dirk here? I will hoist him up.
We'll hoist him up. We'll time at the end of it, and then we'll hoist him up when we get up.
Okay.
Okay,
so pull the first buddy up.
Yeah, a number of the thieves who are with you, Blyleth, help you sort of them to scramble up the rope, and then you all heave this unconscious armored dwarf up as well.
Okay, so did you guys climb up?
I'll scramble up. It takes me a little while longer than usual because of my foot. Yeah.
As soon as they get up, I'm going to say, this way. And we all start kind of moving back to our hideout.
Okay, they lead you through the streets, heading more towards the northern part of the city by your reckoning, Rufus. You move through these back alleyways. It's almost like a maze. It's why the city, despite its holy reputation, is so popular with thieves. It's so easy to get lost in this area. You think that you must be heading towards the traders district, which is on the sort of western part of the city, and eventually you find yourself outside a fairly run down and nondescript building. There's torn sort of tattered drapes over the windows. The door looks a little unsteady in its hinges. Like all of the buildings in this place, it doesn't have sloped roofs, it has flat roofs with sort of little ledges around them.
So I walk in there with the thieves that are with me, and we go to like a trap door. I'm gonna say there's an old man sort of sitting there. He's tending the fire. He has a bottle. He's drinking it, and I pop the trap door up. I flip a coin at him, and we head down down like a ladder into a basement area.
The old man doesn't even look up. He just sort of with reactions that quite belie his aged years. Like the bottle's still like raised up. He just like flicks out his hand, catches the coin, tucks it in a pocket almost with one smooth gesture, and just like carries on drinking as you guys head down this trapdoor into this basement. Waiting for you in the basement, Belileth, is the young woman Peely, who is like the leader of this sort of group of thieves. She's got short cropped dark hair, wearing sort of leather armor, a traveling cloak against the extremely cold climes up here. She looks up at you, Belileth. She looks up at you, Belileth, as you enter in and says, "How did your hunting go?"
Hey, fishing was really good. We caught a big catch tonight.
She smiles and
I
says,
look over at Rufus and I give him a big wide grin.
I shake some of like the snow from my hair, and I try and return the smile, even though I'm kind of like got a really sore foot right now. You don't appreciate how sore it is.
Okay, at this point, can you make me a spout law roll, please, Rufus? This is based on intelligence.
Oh.
Your favorite skill.
4.
Okay, mark an XP. Now, this woman, Peely, who's obviously got at least some rank amongst the local thieves, is not someone you've ever heard of before. Perhaps she rose to power after you left the city, or perhaps you did meet her, but she was just like a young cut purse at the time. You're not sure. But as you go in, and there's this bit of banter between her and Belileth, she says, with a little bit of a smile on her face, well, the infamous White Raven. I didn't think we'd ever see you again in the city of Amarana.
I'm just full of surprises. I
Aren't
bet
you?
everyone thought I just rode in prison for the rest of
our
my
little
life.
rescue tonight, the least you could do is tell us why you're here.
I think that's a very good point, Belileth, and she gestures at basically some like crates that are serving as makeshift seats in the room, and says, "Why don't you sit down and tell us exactly why you have returned to the Holy City?"
I'm not sure you'd believe me.
Why don't you let us be the judge of that? If nothing else, Belileth is a great one for tales. He's kept our spirits up on many of these long, cold nights. Please, we're safe for the moment. Please sit down. Tell us what you're doing here.
Well, me and some other compatriots, including my associate here, the ever helpful Sanya, we were trying to find the cause of a disease we'd encountered some distance from here.
As you say this, she sort of holds up a hand and says, "Wait, this disease you're talking about, did it affect the land and the crops?"
I give Sanya a look, like as if to say,
My eyes low when I go, yes, that's exactly what happened. The lands and the crops were rotten, and what's the phrase you used again? The land was sick.
Sick.
Why do you ask?
Peely turns and looks at you, Belileth, and says, it looks like it's not only here that's been affected, Belileth.
So it would seem. I have a candle and a candle holder, and I set it down between us. You can see that the garb I'm wearing is a sort of checkerboard pattern of alternating colors. I have a horn with some holes in it, like a carved animal horn with some holes in it, hanging in a loop around my neck. Yes, it had to be something big to bring you back here. It's quite a risk you're taking.
Well,
Even being here is risky.
There's a 2,000 coin reward out for your capture, dead or alive.
only 2,000.
Murmur amongst all the thieves.
Yeah. Sorry,
I thought they'd be too
please,
busy.
please go on with your tale.
Come on, spit it out.
So we decided to seek some magical assistance in this quest, retrieving a piece of legend, shall we say, from a tower, which you may have heard of, Jasper's Tower. We successfully located the tower. We got inside the tower. Nodding at Sandy for confirmation that wasn't just spouting my head off.
Yes.
We engaged battle with a foul creature, and he kind of sent us here accidentally.
How do you mean accidentally?
I've said we kind of didn't mean to show up in this city. No, I'm sure you won't believe that the famous White Raven would come to the great holy city by accident.
Well, I've heard a lot of things said about you, White Raven, but never that you were stupid. I can't imagine you're here without reason or accident.
Indeed, but Blythe is absolutely correct. Given the legends and the stories that have grown up around you, White Raven, it's often difficult to separate the fact from the fiction.
I mean, I know, but like I said, I told you wouldn't believe me.
I'm gonna lean close to him and be like, "Who are you?"
I am everyone.
So tell me, White Raven.
Well,
where
you're
have you...
here now.
Very true, Blythe. But tell me, White Raven, where have you been all these years since you left the Holy City?
I did a spell in prison.
What
Unfortunately,
did they eventually get you for?
I was betrayed by my compatriots. I was set up.
Sorry, state.
Oh,
No
I
honor
like
amongst
that
thieves.
ending better.
And
I've been singing your tale.
Sorry, go ahead.
I've been singing your tale off and on without giving away too much, and I never knew quite how it ended. I had to come up with a reason why you were betrayal. That's better than what I had.
It's certainly
Go
a
on,
twist
go
in the
on.
tale. So please continue.
Fame does not breed loyalty.
So what do you plan to do now? If you're here by accident,
Short
like
term,
you wish to leave.
help my colleague Durkee here heal. Sanya could use some rest. If you have a fire nearby, that would be great for him. He takes comfort from fire.
Yeah, don't mention the fire thing.
I mean, he's cold. He needs to warm up. He's cold. Look at him.
Thanks.
We could supply all those things, but what's in it for us? I mean, it's 2,000 coins we're giving up on.
Indeed.
Since when do thieves do the guards bidding? Really? Throw one of your own.
Listen, White Raven.
Guards? I don't care. I don't care one whit about the guards. That's 2,000 coins.
I'm with Byleth. I think we should sell you out. That's a lot of coins. I can't think of a reason why not.
Blythe is right. 2,000 coins would keep us going for a long, long time. We have a lot of hungry mouths we need to feed, and 2,000 coins go a long way towards doing that.
I think that's a good idea. Don't worry about a necromancer we're releasing to town that's going to kill everyone. This will be far more important.
As you say,
A
necromancer.
what that wants to witch?
As you say, necromancer, a head like snaps round and like looks at you, Sanya, and then she says, "This sickness you were talking about, what effect does it have?"
Well, let's see. The last time it turned creatures into weird, horrible green monsters. The other time it brought out the Triants, and we might be the only people in this entire city who know about it and might be able to stop it. But we should probably hand him in for the money first. I mean, like, we don't need to worry about living. I think that's far better off. I mean, I'm thinking maybe 50-50? Okay, you seem more like a 40-60 kind of person.
Look, before you say any more, there's something I need to show you. And she gestures. A couple of the thieves like push aside one of these large crates, and you can see there's another trapdoor underneath it. She opens that trapdoor up, takes this candle that Blythe placed on one of the crates, and lowers herself down and says, "There's something you need to see down here."
Take a deep breath before you go.
Okay. Could anyone borrow me a bandage for just a minute or two?
Again, I flipped my horn off my head. And what am I offered in return? Come on, Rufus. You've played the game long enough. You know how it works.
I'll give you a signed autograph. I mean,
as you say that, you actually hear Peely laughing from this chamber below. You hear a voice float back up through the hole, and she says, "Well, if nothing else, White Raven, the tales of your ego have not been exaggerated."
Come on, suck it up, right, Raven. Let's go down the hole.
okay. Oh God.
Offer me a price.
Okay, the two
Someone
of
get that
you,
man a candle. He's getting
the
like
two of you
angry.
head down into the hole. It's very dark in here. There's only this small glow of the light of the candle that Peely is holding. She holds the candle out to the two of you, and then says, "If you walk straight forward in this chamber, you'll see something there. Which, well, we'll continue our discussion after you've seen it. Take this candle and walk slowly into the darkness. Just be careful."
I will not ask questions. I'll take the candle from her. And then I'll be like, let's go see what it's all about.
Sonia, I never thought I'd say this to you as I'm walking down, but I feel like things have got worse since you got out of prison.
Can we just focus on what's happening now so I don't have to worry about the fact I'm back in the city I wasn't supposed to be in for 10 years? Or that you have a 2,000 pound bounty, gold bounty on your head?
I mean, I look back smiling. I mean, it's a pretty big bounty, let's be fair.
I do- How are you more trouble than I am?
As the two of you continue walking down through this long stone chamber, you hear at what must be the far end of it, the sound of rattling and moving chains. It's very familiar to you, obviously having been incarcerated yourself. And as you continue moving down, you hear a slightly sort of bubbled voice saying, "Who's there?"
I push the White Raven forward like, you're the leader.
Hello, sir, I believe.
Have you come to bring us some food? I'm so hungry.
How many of you are down here?
Just me.
I will.
I'm gonna shine my torch, my candle a little bit closer, but extend my arm so I'm not like getting close to whatever this thing is.
You hold the candle forward, Sanya, and you can see that chained by large chains and manacles to the far wall of this chamber is this emaciated figure with the flesh drawn tight around its bones. It's wearing little more than the tattered shreds of clothing. It looks like they've been torn to pieces. You can see there's like blood splattered all over him. The skin around is drawn so tight around its face that you can almost see the outline of its skull through it. And as it turns to look at you with these completely black eyes, you can see that all of its teeth appear to be almost like fangs, like needle sharp.
What the hell are you?
It looks at you and it goes, have you come to feed? I'm so hungry.
I slowly take a step back.
As you take a step back, this thing lets out this like bestial like, and it like leaps to its feet, like obviously running towards the two of you, like its teeth like snapping together. It reaches the end of its chain and it's like yoinked back. Now you can see there's actually like a collar around its neck and a chain running to the wall, and it's pulled back by the chains before it can get to you.
Who keeps something like that down here? Why would someone keep something like that down here?
I don't know. Let's go up.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Oh,
Walking back up. Ow.
As you
Ow.
emerge, I'm like, did you like our little guest?
I don't
Look.
like that man very much.
You've been asking for help, and I've been asking for an amount, and you haven't offered me anything.
Peely looks at you. She's got a sad expression on her face, and she says, "That was Kantar. He was one of my best pickpockets. He was killed by the guard 5 nights ago."
Killed?
I should know. Most of us here were there when we buried him.
He doesn't seem like dead to me.
You heard her right.
We always keep an eye on those we bury. After all, thieves aren't afforded the same burial rights as other people. We have to sneak in after dark and bury them. We always have someone keep an eye on the grave for at least the first few nights to make sure the guard don't spot it and attempt to dig them up and put them in a pauper's grave. Imagine our surprise when Kantar refused to stay dead.
Is that why the guard asks us about the teeth?
Makes sense why they're looking at us, watching out for people with that.
What the hell's happened to the city while I've been gone?
I don't know, but do you think it's connected to the statues?
Like, maybe. Milo seemed to think it was happening all through the land.
But each
statue?
time we've
Who's
managed to
Milo?
connect it to one friend of ours that we traveled with. He's on his way back here sometime soon. If it's what we think it is, that means that one of the Gallon followers has brought one of the statues here and is using it to do this, which means we need to find the source, find out how to destroy that moving forward. Do you think that'll work?
Maybe. Do you reckon there's a statue in the city somewhere?
It makes sense. The last few times it was. The first one was in fire. The second one was in water. This was buried in earth.
Maybe. I mean, that
You
makes
want to
kind
smash a
of sense.
statue?
I turn over and go, it's complicated. Give me one
Rufus,
second.
what's-
Just one moment. One moment. Rufus, White Raven.
Thank you
Listen.
for using that for the first time properly ever.
I hate you so much right now. Listen, fine. You're right. I get it. Something weird is going on. Something to do with the statue, something to do with that. We've got to find out where it is. We've got to stop it. And we've got to find out which one of the Gallon followers is here.
So you're just so I'm not confused, Sanya, you're saying that we should stay in the city to save the city that you told me you never wanted to come back to. That you spent the last 2 hours telling me that you wanted to get out of here.
It's my home. I can't abandon it. Yes, it doesn't give me any good memories. Yes, I lost things, but I grew up here. I still have friends and family I care about, even if they don't care about me.
I grab her by the shoulder. This is why I like you, Sanya. You're not afraid to be your own man.
I hate when you do that.
Someone get this man a fire.
Don't mention the fire thing. All right, so that was the easy bit. Here comes the hard bit. How are we going to get them to help us? They want payment, they want all of that, and you have a bounty in your hand.
You know I can hear you.
Also, he can. I go.
Oh, so-
At least I pretend.
Peely laughs as you say that. Blimey.
well, they say a story is priceless. So
I tell you what is priceless, says
I don't
Peely.
understand
Money.
you, Rufus.
okay.
Yes, I don't understand you, Rufus. You want to go smash a statue, you come all the way back here and risk your freedom to smash. Where's the profit in that? That isn't the Rufus I know.
I'm earning something higher this time.
Peely sort of raises an eyebrow skeptically and looks at you, Blylet, and says, "Well, they do say that prison changes a man."
I'm not that much out of the game. I managed to get out of prison, didn't I?
That's true.
All right, so this seems to be important to you. So here's what's going to happen. We saved you. You owe us a favor.
Okay.
I'm going to
I
heal you. He's going to get to rest with the fire. That's another favor. And then I'm going to go with you, and I'm going to help you smash this. And that's a third favor. And you're going to pay me back 3 favors. Or I might happen to have mentioned to a guard where you are.
I see what you're saying. So you need something from us in exchange. What can we do to help you?
White Raven, you
You're going to
know
owe me 3 favors. Or at
what
least us.
Blylet
Sorry.
says. She nods and says, "I understand, Blylet. You're getting carried away with the moment." But what he says is true, Rivers. You know how the game works in this city. No one does anything for nothing in the Holy City. If you want,
Maybe that's
something,
why
you
the
have to
city's in
give
the state it's
something.
in.
At which point she rises angrily and she says, "The reason," and you can tell she's like controlling her emotions by an effort of will. The reason, White Raven, that the city is in the state it's in is because every night, despite the guards placed on the public cemeteries, the dead rise and walk the streets of the city, which you would know if you had not abandoned the city after your little escapade with that picture.
So, may I ask a question about the rising of the bodies and people out here, if you don't mind?
Please do.
I'm not really averse in whole thief culture here. I'm trying my best here. How long has this been going on?
Let's see, it would be about the last 10 months.
All right. And would you say this is a very massive problem that the city needs to be solved?
She
You
looks
saw
at
how
you,
the guards were acting.
she looks at you with like a really expression on her face, and she's like, "Would I say that the dead rising and preying on the living is a massive problem?" Yes.
Okay. So let's say it's in all of our best interest to stop this now, right?
True.
All right. So give us all the resources you can to help us stop it, and we'll call it 2 favors. Well, maybe 1 favor. I think that's
First
probably
off,
fair.
You've got to remember, there's a lot of mouths here to feed. That's 2,000 coins we're turning down. I'm
I'm
willing to not. I'm willing to be a little loose on what the favor is, but the favors will be paid.
I fully understand this, but I'm pretty certain if we don't do anything, there will be a lot less mouths to feed as the time going on. So this is more of a neutral thing, right?
If you can get us,
Well, there's also good.
if you can get us the results, then we would consider some of your debt to us paid. But we will expect to see the results for it. Simply saying you are going to solve this problem is not the same as solving it.
Have I ever failed before? And I look
All
at
right,
Sally just to
let's-
say, don't say a word.
I'm like,
Peely looks you dead in the face, Rufus, and says, "You've just told us how you were betrayed by your companion and spent a spell in jail, so..."
And you didn't seem to be doing too well against those guards in the alleyway either.
Yes, I
All right,
did.
we'll call it 2 favors.
right, with 2 favors. One of those favors is that this guy comes with us, right?
Indeed.
I'm
Most
coming with you. Oh,
of
yes.
us are having to lie low with the increased guard presence because of the problems I've just mentioned. It's putting a severe cramp on our operations. We can't afford to be out and about too much. I had to use a lot of favours just to pull in this many thieves to haul your asses out of the proverbial fire. I can't spare many men, but Blyleth is one of my most capable. I will send him with you to act in my stead. I have operations I need to
Also, I'm not
oversee.
wanted.
Yes, very good point, Blyleth.
And to make sure we don't renegade on the deal, of course.
Blyleth has been the public face of our operation since he's not wanted. He's known as a wanderer and a teller of tales. His reputation is clean.
That sounds pretty fair.
I pull out my cap and actually bow.
I take he also comes with information about the town, people we know, all of that jazz.
Of course.
Jazz? Has Jazz been invented yet? Yeah, it totally has. Oh, excellent. So he's valuable. All right. Then
I also have knowledge of the dead. And I take out my horn. Now, who's most wounded among you? I'm looking them over.
Actually, I'm all right.
I've been worse, but I could use this.
All right, so it's between you and Durkee. That's your call.
Oh, Durkee definitely would take the priority.
Yeah, because I'm about to say, can we leave our friend here with you, and that will count as our favor and collateral if you wish. It's fine. I'm okay for me as collateral.
No, you misunderstand. We are going to help you, and then you owe us 2 favors. Because right now you owe us 3.
Well, call it 2.
Peely holds up her hand and she says, since, as you say, your friend will serve as collateral to ensure your good conduct, we will care for your friend. We will make sure that, to the best of our abilities, that no harm comes to him. However,
in fact,
you will not be able to return here after we have used this safe hold, which we've been using it far too long as it is. We'll have to abandon it and pick a new base, but you know our way, Blyleth. We'll find a way to make contact with you through one of our normal agents.
So I'm gonna take out my horn. It's a animal horn. It's about this long and tapered at one end. Has a few holes in it, and I'm gonna play a couple of notes out of it. And Dirkia will heal 9.
Okay, you see some of Durkee's wounds start to close, and he stirs a little fitfully in his sleep. Peely gestures, and a couple of people, the thieves, quite gently pick Durkee up. And she says, "We'll take him with us when we move to our new base of operations. We'll make him as comfortable as we can. You have my word, White Raven."
We thank you very much. And so does a White Raven, I say.
Of course.
In which case, I think we're good to go.
Yeah, I hand you actually a burning brand, and I point to like a corner, and I say, "There's a pile of wood over there, and a pit if you wish."
Well, thank you, but I look at Dirk. Are we staying here? I look at what's White Raven. I go, are we staying here tonight? Or are we going straight to
You
work?
seem to need rest.
Rest would probably be the best option.
Peely says, "We should be safe for the evening here.
All right.
I mean, you did say the dead walk the streets at night, so...
She nods.
Probably a good idea. All of this counts as one favor. All right, let's make it count.
Yeah.
Okay, so you all rest up for the evening. It's fairly uneventful. The evening passes. you hear the sound of people doing their morning worship and their chant of prayers echoing through the streets of Amarana as the sun begins to rise over the horizon the next morning.
Well, any ideas on how to find the statue or where to look?
All right, so the morning comes up. I rest. I level up.
Don't forget you need downtime in hours or days and XP equal to or greater than your current level plus 7.
Oh, god damn it. Do I need days, not hours? Can we rest for exactly 12 hours?
Yeah, that's fine. If any of you want to level up at this point, that's absolutely fine.
Thank you. Right, I take a deep breath and I go, all right, Bly, whatever your name is, right?
Lilith.
All right, so I look at Rufus and I go, let's pull what we know. The last time they arrived somewhere the first time it was a fire. They put the statue in the fire, it had a big burst, and it summoned people to it. The second time they put the statue in a very important source of water.
Yes.
It ran through most of the land and went through there. So they need to put a statue somewhere of importance, somewhere of power, somewhere that connects to. Is there some kind of like sacred land, some sacred
Catacombs?
gravestone?
Like catacombs? Like
A
burial?
catacomb would do. A catacomb deep under the earth would do. That would be a good
It's
place
connected
put
to
it.
all the other kind of graves and churches in the city.
Peely says, well, there is, of course, the sewer system that runs underneath the city.
Somewhere under there, there must be a point where all of them are connected. Is there some kind of map or map out of the sewers that connect the city?
As far as I know, there's no full map of the city sewer system. Most people don't even venture down there. Parts that are unstable, unsafe. The guards take a very dim view of people they find trying to use the sewers.
I mean, I'm sort of leaning at
Some
Sanya and I'm
sort
like,
of
Sanya,
divining rod to.
can't you like ask the fur? Can you talk to the candle?
You shut up.
To aim a little more, there are many sewers beneath the city.
Yeah.
I go over to the fire we're looking at, and I'll go, give me a minute. And I sort of sit in front of it. I just need to think. And I'll put my hand on my head, and I'll look over at Rufus with that kind of scornful look in my eye.
I'd like to
While he's
play
doing
some
it,
music to aid him while he's doing that.
Okay.
Okay, so make your roll, Rob.
Is it some Metallica?
I'm guessing it's.
Give me a few. Give me 5.
I'm guessing it's charisma. I don't know.
Yes, it will be.
7.
Okay, so yeah, you'll get a +1 to your roll, Sanya.
All right, here goes nothing. Wish me luck, guys. I needed that plus roll. 5, 6 with a +1, 7, 8, 9. I'm one short.
Okay, so
Again!
remind me what you get for a 7 or 9 on your roll.
No, because I can use my new power because I just got it.
I'm intrigued.
I
Tell me
can
more.
push a victory by basically sacrificing a future victory to the flames. I can push a victory from 7 to 9 to 10, and that's what I'll do. There is a price though. The price is that at some point I need to make someone else's 10+ roll a complete miss.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that's the problem with that skill.
And how many? It's me and you. So it's either Rob or me that's going to have a bad day.
Why don't you do it to yourself?
Nope, I can if I want it, but I don't really have to.
He ain't going to do that.
Okay, so tell me what you get for your move that you just made.
Let me double read it properly. When I stand to a source of fire, on a 10+, the GM will give you good detail about something new and interesting in the current situation.
Okay, let me just have a think about that for a few moments.
As I consult the fire. Also, I'm really sorry, guys. This is gonna suck at some point. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
Only if you're selfish and put it on us.
No. I have to sacrifice someone else's victory to the flames. That's what the text says.
Okay, so as you stare into the fire, you can't. You're not sure entirely how, but you can see that somehow all that you've experienced recently, the blight, Jasper Sirsk and his escape from the tower, and the dead rising in the city, they're all connected somehow. They're sort of bound together by these strands of fate, if you will. And then it occurs to you, since this has been going on for 10 months here, which seems like longer than the blight was going on in Pondmount, what if the Dead Rising is just like a later stage of the infection? Maybe it just didn't have time to do that in other places. And if it's affected this place that's so far afield from Pondmount, so far to the north, what other places in the world have been affected by it? How many agents do they have out there putting these statues everywhere?
Maybe this place was infected before any of the others, like...
Indeed, and how is Jasper Sursk, who was like confined to his tower, how's he all wrapped up in this? You can feel there's some sort of connection, but you're not sure what.
It's all connected, Rob. The grand plot.
So the general gist I get from that is that this has been done a long time ago, and somehow Jasper is connected.
Well, if you remember, since you heard this, you know that Jasper was originally in prison because he was trying to usurp the power of the gods. And you know that Milo said that this sickness, whatever it was like someone was corrupting or redirecting the natural power that was flowing through the land.
The short bit of conversation we had with him during the combat implied that something had happened to allow him to escape.
Yeah.
But he didn't elaborate because he was trying to kill us.
What an ass.
Glitches
Well, it was probably all those statues on the stage.
What I will say to Blythe and the head thief, I can't remember her name just off the top of my head. Sorry, Healy. Do you have any, guards that are on your side? At the moment.
There are a few guards who are willing to look the other way for a coin, but I wouldn't say they're exactly on our side. They're just willing to turn a blind eye.
Perhaps you could get some information out with them.
Do you not think we've already tried? The guards are as much in the dark as we are.
Perhaps since they're the ones patrolling the streets, so they'll know when the dead did begin to rise, like where closer to the origin of where the stone might be. So it stands to reason that wherever the stone is, the dead will start rising a distance from it, like in the other cases we found.
No, you're being too complicated. It's a much easier way to solve this problem. I see as I rise from the flames and I look at you. We need to find Jasper. Jasper will know.
But we don't know where Jasper is.
Jasper?
He'll be in the city.
As you're saying this, Sanya, you and only you hear this like whispered voice going, Sanya.
I said, who is Jasper?
He is a magic person?
I look at
How would you describe him?
Healy sighs and says, do you mean a wizard?
Yes, he means a wizard. He's more than a wizard.
Yes, but no.
Yeah.
But he's a bad wizard.
The bad wizard, he did some bad things. He's just freed himself from prison and he just arrived in the city yesterday. He's powerful and he's partially necromantic. And he's somehow connected to this. And I don't know how or why, but his power has something to do with this. So if we find him, we'll find out what's going on.
But why would he tell us?
We're going to have to make it... I give the
spread
description of Jasper the best I can.
Okay, he describes this tall, cadaverous being like floating a few inches off the ground, surrounded by like green fire. And to be honest, Blythe, you're thinking, well, how difficult can that guy be to recognise?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? He's going to stand out.
Put the word out on the street or whatever it is you people do here, and find that man. That man will know he will know what the source of this is, and from him, we'll be able to stop it from happening.
Peely looks at you all and says, well, we're going to get ready to move. I'll put up the word out, as you've said. I suggest we all separate. We can't be seen together, given your reputation in the city, White Raven. But we'll keep your friends safe. I suggest we go our separate ways. We can meet up again later.
That sounds fair to me.
The longer we stay here, the more in danger we are.
And then
Makes sense.
I'll ask, is the Celts' Graveland still untainted at the moment? They're not far from here, maybe 3 blocks down.
Well, at which point she says, wait a minute, your accent, you're from here, aren't you?
A long time ago. It's irrelevant for now. But yes,
I thought I could a trace of the accent. Well, as I'm sure you'll know, there's only one large cemetery in the city. It's just to the west of Shadow Square, the old execution place. But it's heavily guarded, as you might expect, given recent events.
I would like to visit there when this is all over, when the guards have calmed down and there's no more threat. Is that all right, Rufus?
It's fine by me.
All right.
Fine by me.
At which point, Peely sort of leans forward a little bit, and she just sort of like gently puts a hand on your shoulder, Sanya, and says, I can see in your face you've lost someone, haven't you?
Yes, but this is not the time for it. Now we have to find this creature and stop him and stop this statue and everything else. I'll have time for grievances later.
Of course, sir. I understand. Right.
And I'll nod to him.
Get yourselves ready, men. Take the dwarf gently with him. We need to move. We'll hopefully see you all soon. And they all start like making their way out of this safe house, leaving you two and Blyleth alone.
All right.
Well, I like this plan, Sanya. I feel I should point out the fact that Jasper nearly killed all of us, and we had a Glarg with us at that point.
Yes, but this time when we see him, hopefully, one, we'll be ready, and two, he's probably still going to be injured from last night's escapades. If he's injured enough, we might be able to get the dump on him. He's probably somewhere right now trying to recover. If we can find out where that is, we can stop
But if we
him.
kill him, he can't tell us what we need to know.
Well, it gets a bit more complicated than that. Remember what the guard said? Something about the hierarch knowing that this was going to happen?
How is that even possible?
I don't know.
I mean, I've seen some things, but being able to predict what happens, that's just...
I am not one
Can
to
that be done?
I'm not one to say just how petty the gods are and who they give power to and why. We can try and find out someone who's involved with that and find out from there.
Now, at this point, I'm going to say Rufus and Sanya and Blyleth, you can all make me a spout law roll. It's based on intelligence.
Well,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just going to say, my bardic lore expert area of expertise is dead and undead. So I'm going to try and think of some way that you could maybe track or hone in on a necromancer. I mean, there can't be too many of them.
Okay, you know from some of the ancients, I believe you can just ask a question, can't you, rather than get an answer for it?
When you first encounter, you can ask the GM a question about it. The GM will answer truthfully.
Okay, splendid.
The GM may then ask you what tale, song, or legend you heard the information.
Okay, you know from your tales that you've heard, Blyleth, that most sort of intelligent undead creatures, that they can't be healed like normal people through like potions or like your bardic singing or clerical spells or anything like that. The way they heal is they absorb life from other people. So if, as they've said, there's like an injured intelligent undead in the city, sooner rather than later, bodies are going to start turning up as it's going to be like draining life energy to heal itself.
So, okay, so I'm going to say this. Well, there is one way we could find this Jasper eventually. He will kill to feed and heal.
Of course. The necromancers need to kill themselves to drain themselves. I read that back in scribe school.
Okay.
With your rolls, guys, I'm going to say that all of you know.
I got 7, by the way, John. I get a
So
minus,
that's
just
fine.
in case.
All of you know that the hierarch of this city is a dwarven priest. It's since the main temple is to Gatan, the lord of the earth and the deep in this city. His like ziggurat is effectively the main temple that he rules from. You know that there's a tradition in this city where each ruler, when it becomes their time to pass on, they go through this ceremony that's supposed to impart all of their knowledge to their successor. And it's believed that like the knowledge of all of the previous rulers is passed down in this way. However, the hierarch listens to a prophetess who resides in the Golden Tower at the southern end of the city, who is reputed to speak for the gods. And although he's like the sort of temporal ruler, he has all the real power. He pretty much like relies on the prophetess to like hand down the word of the gods and the will of the gods to him.
Well, if there's any way we could get to see her, I am pretty charming, but
Charming enough to permit an audience.
eh, perhaps, perhaps.
I'll fold my hand. Let's see. I'll go. Well then, let's put our mouths where our feet or money can go.
Doesn't that create some sort of I don't know, like I don't know the right word for it, but if we turn up there and they know the future, they know we're going to turn up, so maybe they'd give us an audience because they know we're going to be there.
They don't know every bit of the future. They know bits and pieces of the future.
All right then, let's go say hello.
What are the chances you think the gods have heard of the White Raven?
I don't want to think about that.
Perhaps you might want to not go in or disguise yourself. Don't you remember this, Rufus? It's like you forgot. Let's go.
Okay, so finding the Golden Tower isn't difficult. It's a giant gold-coloured tower in the southern end of the city. You can see as you get near to it, it's very heavily guarded. There are guards all around the entrances to the tower. A lot of guards, all wearing this white and green livery, furs and armour.
All right, so I'm going to walk up. Perhaps I know one of the guards, or one of the guards knows me. I've played around town many times, and say hello. And I'm going to say to him, Joseph, right? Listen, I was hoping to get maybe a couple of minutes with her ear.
Okay.
I've been working on a good song and story, and a little bit of information would be go in the right direction.
Make me a roll plus charisma, Blythe.
Okay. Whoops, there's too many dice. I will slip him a coin if that helps. Ooh, 4. I've got 7.
Okay. He looks at you and he looks down at the coin you've given him, and he's like, "Well, Blythe, I'd like to let you in there, but you know, with times being hard, it's more than my job's worth to."
I just smile at him. I make it 3 coins.
Okay, you slip
Just be a couple of minutes.
You slip another coins, and he's like, "All right, Blythe, look, I can give you a couple of minutes at most. If you get caught in there, it'll be my head."
Come around the weeping. I'll buy you a drink. I tap him on the shoulder and head in, smiling.
If you get past
Like
him,
nothing's wrong.
damn right, you'll buy me a drink. And he lets you go in.
All right, so I'm going to go in, and what does it look like? I'm going to look for this prophetess.
Okay, as you make your way into the tower, you can see there appears to be like a long spiral staircase sort of circling upwards around the outside of the tower. You can see there's like a massive queue of people effectively waiting on this staircase, all the way up this staircase. You can just about glimpse beyond them an ornate door at the top of the staircase. It looks basically like there's a massive queue of people waiting to ask questions to the prophetess.
Well, I'm out of character. I'm not from the UK, so any tips on this queue?
Get in the actual sea.
I guess I'll get in line. I don't have enough to bribe them all to.
Okay, you join the line. So, Sanya and Rufus, it's been about an hour since Blythe disappeared into this golden tower. What are you guys up to?
Still not back yet.
I'm trying to make myself look decidedly Rufus-like.
You probably would have seen a stream of people coming out though every couple of minutes.
Yeah, you will have seen people coming out. Okay,
Is he queuing in there? Surely not.
make me a wisdom roll, Rufus, to see how well you've disguised yourself.
Not bad, 9.
I was going to say, this will be a bad one to fail.
Okay,
Sanya, if you dare.
I can't. You have to roll a 10 for me to do that.
Oh, right.
okay.
And no one's rolled a 10 yet.
With that roll, your disguise isn't going to bear up to close scrutiny, but as long as
Okay.
anyone's not actively paying you close attention, it's probably good enough.
Okay.
Okay, so it's been about an hour, Blythe, and you're finally getting close to this doorway. And as you're sort of reaching the doorway, you hear a soft female voice inside saying, "Yes, this winter will be extremely harsh, but don't worry, the summer will come again, and your crops will flourish in your farmlands, at which point you hear a voice saying, "Oh, thank you very much, prophetess. Thank you very much." She says, Go with the gods. Oh, thank you, prophetess. And this like young farmer comes up, walking out, still like bowing. Oh, thank you, like backs out of the door and then starts heading down the stairway. At which point you're like next in line, Lila. You hear it.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so as you're stood outside the door, which is like swung shut as he's going in, you hear a voice from beyond the room saying, "Come in, Blyleth."
So I go in and I smile at her and I bow very, very deeply. I take my fancy hat off and I dip it right to the floor.
Okay.
Greetings. Thank you for seeing me, lady.
As you walk in, you can see a young woman with very pale skin. She's wearing white and red robes, and there's like a gold-coloured blindfold across her eyes. She's sitting on a large pile of cushions. She gestures at another pile of them and says, "Please sit down and tell me what's troubling you."
Okay, so I'm going to say that just from being in the city and knowing about her, I know that the blindfold she's wearing doesn't mean she can't see in some way. She does not suffer from this blindfold.
Very true. So, you know, Blyleth, that the blindfold is there to symbolise that she relies on the wisdom of the gods to like be her sight, rather she doesn't want to be distracted by like earthly matters, effectively.
Right. Okay. Excellent. So I'm going to say to her, I come before you on a matter of, well, some importance I feel to the city. I am seeking a man, an evil man, a necromantic man, named of Jasper, who recently arrived in this city. I feel he is here to cause much trouble, and it would be very helpful if we could locate him in short order.
She smiles and then says, the wisdom of the gods and their decrees permits me to answer only a single question from each supplicant. Please consider carefully before you ask me your question.
Where might I find this Jasper this evening?
She holds her head in her hands for a few moments. Then when she lifts her head, when she speaks, it's this rough, gravelly voice that emanates from her, sounding like stone scraping across stone. And then she says, "Seek for him in the graves amongst the dead."
Do I know that is a specific place, or is that like a vague place?
Now, you know that there's literally only one large cemetery in the city.
Perfect. I nod again. Thank you. Grace be to you, lady.
She smiles, and she a slightly pained smile, as though like what she's done has like hurt her in some way. And then she says, "I hope whatever the gods told you when they spoke through me was helpful."
As do I. So I'll take my leave.
Then, as you turn to leave, she puts her hand out, just like gently on your arm, and then she says, "And another piece of advice, Blyleth. Be careful who you travel with. All of us carry the chains of our past with us."
I smile widely. You are indeed wise. I will take your advice. Tell me. All right, so I'm going to leave. As I come out of the tower, I'm like, there's like a little bounce to my step, sort of cockiness. And I just go, I know roughly like where they're hanging out, and I'm just going to go walking past them to not like, indicate there's people hiding there.
Yep, no problems.
I'm humming a tune.
And then as he walks past, I'm like, I think he's out. We probably should follow him once you unmute your microphone.
Yep. We probably should.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
So I'm going to go into like maybe a tiny tavern, a really small place that's barely still afloat, that kind of place.
Not a problem. You head into a tavern. Now, you know that drinking sort of heavily is pretty frowned on in the holy city of Amarona because it's a holy city. So most of the taverns, they don't actually serve booze or any of the equivalent. They're more sort of like smoking houses where they have those like hookah pipes, etc.
Clag would hate this place.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to go in and get a seat at a table that has exactly 3 chairs at it. And I'm going to maybe I order some flavored water or something similar.
Yep, not a problem.
And
You bought some juice over by the smiling serving boy. He places what appear to be 3 pouches of different sort of fragranced tobaccos and herbs on the table next to this ornate brass pipe with a number of hoses coming from it. He
I hold up
smiles,
my
nods.
hand. I pat my own pouch. I pull out some halfling pipe leaf.
He smiles, nods at you, and says, "Ah, Master Blythe, will you be favouring us with one of your adventurous tales this evening?"
Perhaps tomorrow. I'm just putting the finishing touches on it.
Splendid. I'm sure the locals will very much look forward to it in these dark times. I'll leave you to your business. Please enjoy
Yeah,
yourselves.
I flip him. I'll flip him a. I don't know, silver coin, a half coin.
He catches it and says, "Thank you very much, sir. Please enjoy your stay. If there's anything I can get for you, do not hesitate to ask."
Yeah, I'll take 2 more of these. I'm pointing to the water, the flavored water I had.
He quickly runs, brings
Lemonade,
another
whatever.
couple over, nods at you, and then retreats sort of to a curtained off area which serves as sort of like the staff room, the back room.
So I'm going to say the seat that I'm sitting at the table can see the door, and I'm just going to casually enjoy myself in the pipe leaf until they show up.
All right.
Okay.
Um,
Sanya and Rufus, when you eventually walk in there, the room is filled with this low-lying haze of like these various different like fragranced and pleasant smelling smokes as you walk in. There's lots of people sort of lying around, not so much on seats, but on these like big piles of cushions and sort of bean bags, etc. Each of the small tables has one of these large brass pipes on it. People are like puffing away on these hoses that are coming out of them.
is there a fire?
It's the middle of winter. There is a large hearth with a fire burning in it.
I'll
Praise
sort
be
of
to
go
Karesh.
stand by and go, and just stand up, warm up my hands. I expect Rufus to go over there, but I'll join him in a minute once I warm up my hands.
As you say, praise be to Kavresh, Rufus. One of the locals sort of like pulls the hose. He's like puffing on out of his mouth and says, "More like praise to Gatan, don't you mean?" He like
He
nudges
does.
his friend, and he's like,
He does.
"Kavresh." He nods at you, so gestures with the pipe, Blyleth, and then goes back to like talking with his fellows and puffing away.
I somehow think that would have gone down differently if Turkey was here. But alas, I do not mind. I will go grab a drink of, I don't know, warm milk or something out of this place will serve. And
I just call him over. I got you a drink already.
Get
even better.
a drink. Blyleth's like
Yeah.
points down at the table, and there's like 3 of these mugs with this like strawberry
Does this
flavored
count
water
as
in it.
another favour? I don't know. Anyway, I'll sit down.
You all sit down on these like piles of cushions around this table with this pipe on it.
So just self-amusedly, I'm going to say to them, "How do you feel about graveyards?"
They're not the best place to steal from, but you can find some good things.
Is this a joke?
No. If you want to find your friend Jasper, that's where he'll be tonight.
Which I'm about to say which one, and I pause and I realize what's about to happen and go,
As you pause and you think about it, you can't help but your mind, Sanya, flickering to the thought of you standing years ago by the graveside of your wife in the only cemetery in the city.
looks like I was wrong. Looks like we're going to the cemetery after all.
Seems so.
He won't be there yet. Not until dark.
But
But they
might
might
as
want
well
to cross the city right before it gets dark, in case the guards are on us. We have a few hours yet.
Should we not scout it out? I say, looking at Rufus, like, I don't know, fucking.
Yes, but we have some time. We have time.
I'll take your word for it, boys. I'll go stand by the fire. Don't mind me.
He does that.
I hand him his drink. Do you want your drink?
I'm like, no thanks. I'm not thirsty right now.
Oh, by the way, you worship wherever you like, but around here they kind of prefer Catan, so you might want to keep the Kabresh stuff on the
I've noticed.
As this is going on, Rufus, the sort of like the pile of cushions next to you, the table next to you, there's a man having a very sort of spirited conversation with his friends. He appears to be talking about a new tattoo he's got, and you see him sort of hold his arm out, and he's got this sort of green tattoo design. It's all made out of like straight lines and sort of almost perfect geometric circles on his arm, and he says, "Look at that. Just like the hierarchs got, you won't find finer in the city." And he sort of like flexes his arm. You see his like muscles bulge, and there's all these lines in green etched on his arm. His friends are like, "Bet that cost you a pretty coin." He's like, "Yeah, but it was worth it."
I roll up my sleeve, and there's a very simple drawing of a naked woman on it, on my arm. That's my tattoo. I just smile at him.
He chuckles a bit and he says, "Wow, it's very nice workmanship, friend." He says, "It's not exactly in the style." He says, all of the best in the city are getting these at the moment. It's good enough for the hierarchy. It's good enough for me." He says, like flexing his muscles again, showing his tattoo.
You sleep with who you want.
He laughs like good naturedly and goes back to like puffing on his pipe. Although you notice he's sort of like he keeps like glancing at the window. Obviously, it's daytime's like progressing. You think from the way he's looking, he's like checking on like how much daylight there is left, effectively. You see him look up and he shouts, "Are there any rooms available this evening? I've been chuffing a little heavily, and it doesn't pay to be out after nightfall." A voice from beyond the curtain says, "Yes, as you know, for the last 10 months, anyone who wishes to sleep on the floor here is welcome. We keep the doors barred. We admit no one after sun goes down."
I'm going to lean into my, at least Rufus. I guess Sanya's not even here. So when you meet this Jasper, what then? Didn't you say you fought him once and he's still living and you lost a part of your foot?
Well, the foot thing wasn't, I don't know, Jasper's fault exactly. But, yeah, he was a tough opponent. Not really the kind of thing I'm used to fighting, to be honest, but...
So what is your
strange
plan
times.
when you meet this Jasper then?
From talking to Sanya, I believe the intention is to subdue him and get answers out of him if he's willing to give them. If not, then I guess we got to find an alternative way of getting what we want.
Well, I hope you're as good with that weapon as you're rumored to be. I can hold my own, but...
I won't let you down.
No, you misunderstand, Rufus. I'm not so keen to collect that I'm willing to die for it.
Me neither, to be honest, friend. I don't want to die trying to save the city, but...
Okay,
I have to
Sanya.
wonder if there would be any reward if I turned in your corpse.
Okay, Sanya, you're stood over by the fireplace, warming yourself in the hearth.
Mm-hmm.
You're stood near one of the small sort of rectangular windows, much like a little hole in the wall with a little shutter over it. And as you're stood there, you see sort of like at the far end of a street. It's quite a distance, so you're having to like squint to see them. The street's fairly empty because most people are trying to keep themselves off the streets. You see a familiar female figure standing at the end of the street, and for a moment your heart seems to freeze in your chest as you recognise your wife stood at the far end of the street.
What time of day is it?
You can see that it's sort of midday, just getting on to mid-afternoon.
I go, no, they can't. There's no way. And then I'll run up the door.
Okay, so as far as you two guys can see, you're sat there, you're having a bit of a conversation. Sanya stood by the fire looking out the window, and then he said, "No, it can't be," and he just bolts out the door.
It can't be the smoke. He didn't have any. What's wrong with your friend?
I mean, there's several things wrong with that guy, but I better go see what's up with him.
Okay, Sanya, as you
tough
run
to-
out
I'll be
into
here
the
if you need
street,
me.
as you run out into the street, Sanya, you see the figure that you took to be your wife sort of like ducks around a corner of the street, out of sight. What are you trying to do?
I run after her.
Okay, make me a dex roll.
All right, time to fail. 7. I don't fail. Hey, no. Yeah, 7. I don't fail.
Okay, you run down the street, and as you sort of turn around the corner, you see that stood in the shadow of some awning over a building is the female figure. A slight breeze appears to be like rippling the clothing she's wearing, a sort of plain white dress that you've not seen since you put her in the ground many years previously. Her head's held down, her long hair sort of falling over her face slightly.
I go, Maria!
She looks up at you, her hair falling back from her face slightly. Her skin appears to shine a sort of pale colour in the daylight reflecting off the white buildings surrounding her, and she smiles at you.
I can't reach her, right? She's still up there, I believe.
No, she's not like on top of the building. She just stood in front of it, underneath like an overhang.
Oh, okay. I start walking. Wait, Maria? This can't. And I start approaching her. Just how?
She stands there smiling as she just like holds her arms out towards you.
And I'm walking towards her slowly. And then as I get to about like that much distance from her, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna look ahead, and my eyes I'm gonna lower my eyes. Can I see her teeth?
No, although she's smiling, she's not showing her teeth.
I should arrive at an appropriate time, whenever that is.
Okay, I'll let you know.
And then I'll draw even closer, like pretty much right in front of her, like right there. I'll be like, Maria? Maria?
She lays a hand gently on your shoulder, and her touch is as soft as you remember it from the time you spent together. Again, there's this sad smile on her face, and she says, Sanya, it's been so long.
You were dead. I buried you.
Didn't I tell you all those years ago that our love was so strong that not even death would keep us apart?
As she says that, then I start to wake up a bit more. And I look at her and my eyes low and I go, Maria, show me your teeth.
She smiles and shows her teeth. They look perfectly normal.
And then I sigh so deeply and I reach up and I grab onto her.
Okay. No problem. You grab onto her. At this point, Rufus, you come sort of like screeching round the corner and you see Sanya sort of hugging this woman. She's like resting her head on the side of his shoulder and his head. They're having quite a passionate embrace.
What are you doing? We agreed to be laying low. This is no time to indulging in some kind of...
I turn towards Rufus and I go, it's my wife. It's Maria. Maria, this is Rufus. Rufus, this is my wife.
Sanya, you told me your...
She's alive. She never... I don't know, but she's back. She's here.
Okay, Sanya, can you please make me a charisma roll?
Go on then. 7, 8.
Okay, that's fine. Carry on.
What can I see, John?
Okay, as you come around the corner, and Sanya sort of like releases this woman a little bit to say, Rufus, this is Maria. This is my wife. You see the woman I've described. However, to you, her skin seems a little tighter around her bones. Her skin doesn't have this healthy white glow that Sanya's seeing. It's just this sort of pale pallor to it, and her eyes appear extremely dark, although it could just be the shadows of the awning.
I need you to trust me right now. You need to step away from that woman.
What are you talking about? It's my wife. Why would I leave?
Maria, with her head still rested on your shoulder, says, they're trying to part us again, Sanya, just like they did before. I know they blamed you for what happened to me.
What did you tell me about the past, Sanya? You said it's best left in the past. This isn't what it looks like.
He doesn't want us to be together, Sanya.
The city is sick. It's starting to get into you too. You need to step away.
I'll move Maria, be like, Maria, wait right here. I can convince it's Rufus. I'll convince him.
Wait, I've got an idea. Oh, John, have I got any like torches on me or candles or anything like that?
I'm willing to say you've got some candles.
Yes.
That's fine.
I am going to give him a lit candle and say, "Take another look."
Okay.
Well, with my other, and then
As
I'm
you-
going to draw my sword. Just
Okay,
in
as
case.
you've taken a step towards Rufus, saying, "Oh, Maria, this is Rufus. I can sort it all out. It's misunderstanding. Don't worry about it." Rufus hands you this candle, and he's like, "Take a closer look, Sanya." And as he hands you the candle, he draws his sword out.
What are you doing?
Trying to save your life, brother.
Why are you drawing your weapon?
Take another look through the flames. Take another look. It's dangerous at night. Of course, I draw my sword.
It's not even. Would I even look? Just, I would actually thinking about it. I would because Rufus said it. Had anyone else said it, I wouldn't. But Rufus said it. We're old friends. I turned back towards Maria with a smile on my face and like wash the flame across my eyes as I do.
Okay, not a problem. Are you trying to use any of your flame-based moves, or are you just generally like?
Yeah, I'm what's called. I'm staring through the fire through to see her, to see anything different or new or interesting about her.
Okay, so remind me how that move works.
It's the same thing as last time. I roll it. You tell me. Oh, I gotta read it properly. The gym will tell you something new and interesting about the current situation, or if I roll 10 plus, the gym will give me a good detail.
Okay, go for it. Make a roll.
I got a 10 plus, and I choose to fail it.
I was going to say, are you going to sacrifice that? So as you hold
And
up,
as I do, I sacrifice the memory, one of our memories of me and Maria being together.
Okay. As you hold the flame up and you look at it through the amber glow of this candle that sort of dispels some of the darkness of the overhanging awning, you look through the flames and she looks more beautiful than she has ever looked. She looks like that first day when you met her and you saw her walking across the town square, the sunlight playing across her features, her hair around her shoulders. That first moment when you looked at her and you knew that this was the woman you wanted to spend your life with. She looks beautiful. It almost takes your breath away.
I look back and go, she's fine. She's absolutely fine. Put down your weapon. There's nothing to worry about. Everything will be fine. Nothing has ever been more fine than right now.
You feel Maria's hand being like gently laid on your shoulder, Sanya, and she says, "It's just like before, my love. They want to keep us apart. I know those horrible things they said about you."
Rufus, if I have to burn you to save my wife, I will.
I know that. I know that, Sanya. I know you will. But I sort of try and step between them. I'm like, you remember what happened to you. You remember what happened to your family. I don't want to bring up those memories. I don't want to talk about those times, but
Okay.
her being here cannot be right.
Make me a roll plus dex as you step between them, Rufus.
Okay. I mean, I'm a thief. It'll be all right. No, it won't.
No, what? That's fairly okay. Take fairly.
So, 4,
Mark
4,
yourself
6,
with that
7.
XP. Oh no, it's a 7. So you. Okay, as you step between them, you see Maria like reaching her hand out towards your arm, Rufus. You've only got a second to sort of decide what to do. What do you do?
I'm gonna block it if I can with my sword.
Is John there? Oh,
Yeah, I'm still here. Okay.
I parry it
As
with
you,
the flat of the blade.
Okay, she's just reaching out her hand towards you. So what you see, Sanya, is she's just like reaching out her hand as though to like put it on his arm. Nothing aggressive. As she reaches out, however, Rufus like swings his sword up and like the sword slices her hand. You see like blood spray out of her hand. She lets out like a cry of pain and sort of like falls backwards a little bit from him.
I am going to. Oh, I can't summon fire directly. I don't have the candle in my hand. Oh, I can do fire right here if I want to. But I'm not going to. I'm going to basically use the candle. I'm going to like stretch it out into a sword, and like burning brand a sword in front of Rufus and sort of like hold it to his head and be like, "You dare!"
Make that roll.
7, 8, 9, 8, 9. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, I do it.
Okay,
I do
describe
it.
What
it's
happens.
I power I grab the candle, I point the candle forward. The fire stretches out and it becomes a full-on sword. And I hold it up to Rufus and I look at him and go, "You dare!"
Sanya, I've always got your back. I've always got your back. We've been in prison together. I'm doing this for your own good.
I will strike you down if you do not move away from her right now.
Think about it, man. How could she have even found you? How does she even know you're back?
I strike him down.
Well, I'm
Okay.
dead. I mean, I'm just a guy. I can't fight fire.
Make me that hack and slash roll.
Okay.
This is not what I expected the day to go. Can I get out of the way?
First, I have to see what I roll first. If I
Okay.
can roll first enough, that's a 6. And I'll be using my burning brand. No, wait, hold on. I'd actually be trying. I won't be trying to do it directly. So I'll just be like, just screaming without thinking about it.
All right, okay.
So,
Are you actually
yeah.
trying to damage him? That's the question we need to know here. Right?
Yeah, I'm trying to damage him, but I fail.
Okay, so basically he swings this burning brand, but you're able to like take a couple of steps back, Rufus, so it swings in the air like a few inches in front of your face.
Can I maneuver myself so that he has to come at me through his wife? It makes me sound like an absolute dick, but I'm hoping that the flames of Kravesh, in my sense, in my non-magical mind, will allow him to see what's going on before he gets me killed or I die trying
It
to
would
save
be
him.
pretty difficult, nigh on impossible to do that maneuver because she's literally like holding onto his shoulder and sort of like moving
Damn.
with him. So you'd have to sort of like run round him before he can turn round, and then she'd just turn round with him. If you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Just set her on fire.
Just burn her. It's fine. Solve our problems.
Don't think I have any way to do that.
I believe this is what we call a moral dilemma.
I'm more of a conundrum. Save Sanya. Condemn myself. Let Sanya kill me. Make a new character.
Well, John forced the PvP. I mean, it's really not your fault.
So, I've got an idea, but I don't. It's probably not going to work on the dead.
As you're thinking about what to do, Maria just puts her hand on your shoulder, Sanya, and she's like, "My love, they don't understand. Why don't we leave here? We've wasted so much time. There's no need to let these people pull us apart even further. They'll never know a love like we've known. We should feel sorry for them."
Let's leave. You're right. Let's get out of here. And I'll start walking away while holding the candle sword in front of my hands.
Okay, Sanya starts backing away with his wife still with her hand on his shoulder, so backing away down the street. He's still holding this like burning sword out.
So I've kind of got this bond. Sanya's always got my back. I can't just leave the man to his stupidity. Okay. Damn.
Hey, Rufus, just a heads up.
Yeah.
My bond with you is I cast under fire for you, and I still owe you your due. So remember that.
Okay. You owe me. You owe me. Do I?
Call in the favor.
I'm going to call in the favor, yeah. I bet. Oh, yes, Rufus. If you're so happy to see your wife, bring her into the tavern.
My name is.
Sorry, Sanya. Bring her into the tavern. Show us some warmth. You're always cold. Come on.
Of
Don't go walking the streets at night.
I'm like, he's right. If I don't get you somewhere safe, it's nighttime and those things will be out. I have to get you somewhere warm. Warmth is good.
I know somewhere safe we can be together, Sanya.
Where?
He's trying to trick us, Sanya.
Is he?
Sanya,
But
we're in the
he's
middle
Rufus.
of a task. We can't just go wandering around at night. Come on.
You saw how he reacted when I simply extended a hand of friendship, and he cut me, my love.
Remember that you owe me, Sanya. You can't just go off on your own. That's right, bitch. You owe me.
Unfortunately, because it's a flame thing you did, I can't actually disobey you because the flame thing you did as well. So I sort of look over and I go, I'm sorry, my love. I know he's hurt you, but I owe him. The flames will not let me let that go without it being paid its due. These flames I've been branded with in our name.
At which point she sort of like releases your shoulder and she takes a step away from you, looking quite sad, Sanya, and she says, then I'm sorry that your promise to your friend means more than the sacred oaths that we made to each other.
No, wait, that's not what I said at all.
She lowers her head into her hands as though she's like crying.
And I'll reach out, try and like brush her hair back, try and like comfort her in some way.
This is so disgusting
Make
for
me a
Rufus.
2d6 plus charisma roll.
Yeah. Fortunately, I'm super sexy, guys. Don't worry. Here comes a good roll. Oh, wow. I succeeded.
She smiles and says, I understand that. I always knew that you were loyal to your friends and loyal to our family. I won't go with someone who has struck me when I extended a hand of friendship. But if you need to go with your friend, I understand.
Oh!
Bring her with you.
She will not come with us. You struck her, remember?
I didn't hit her.
You hurt her hand. I point out her hand like she's bleeding.
She holds her hand up and you can see this cut across her hand with like blood still around it.
She doesn't seem to be in any pain.
She's bleeding. It doesn't matter what she feels like or looks like. At least apologize.
Okay. We will come back to this conversation in a future point, Sanya, and you apologize to me. Sorry, I said to her. I did not mean to hurt you, but you didn't leave me much choice.
She smiles and says, thank you for the apology. You're starting, although the day's wearing on a pace, we're into like mid-late afternoon now. You're starting to feel like quite tired, Sanya. Please tick off the weak condition on your strength on your character sheet.
No problem.
Don't you feel cold, Sanya? Don't you feel always cold? You need to come in and sit by the fire.
I am feeling a little off. Maybe I should sit. Maybe I should just close my eyes for a second. I'm gonna lean on the wall, like on the wall slightly, and just like slowly start to lower my eyes, and like my sword will come down. And as it comes down, I'll probably dissipate to nothing, back to a candle again.
I'll try and support him when he's going to go.
So just lean on the wall.
As you sort of sag down, Maria steps forward and she sort of catches you, almost cradling you, Sanya, and then she says, why don't you rest now, my love? I can take us somewhere safe. We can be together again.
Oh, good. I'll just close my eye.
She sort of like strokes your hair away from your face and kisses you on the forehead.
I'm just going to rest a bit, just like...
What are you doing while this is going on, Rufus? This touching scene of a wife comforting her husband.
If it looks like Sanya is unconscious...
He doesn't look as though he's like unconscious, he just looks as though he's a bit tired and he's like grabbing like 40 winks. It looks as though he's just like resting with his eyes shut rather than he's like unconscious.
I'm going to ready one of my throwing daggers. I'm not going to throw it, though. I'm going to, at a moment's notice, I'm going to come up behind Sanya and say, I think we should go, Sanya. You need to sit by the fire.
As you say that, Maria looks up.
The tavern's not that far away.
Maria looks up at you, Rufus, with her dark eyes as you say, I think we should go. And she says, yes, I think you should go.
I am gonna mouth, without actually speaking, I'm gonna mouth silently to his wife, I know Jasper sent you.
You see the faint trace of a smile on her lips as you say that.
Come into the warmth, Sanya.
I'm gonna fall asleep at this point. If I'm that weakened and my wife is there to shock everything else, I'd probably just pass out.
Okay, you don't get any response.
It's pretty cold in the heat, though, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's welcome.
Just to get stagger inside a doorway.
The moment he's asleep, I'm going to throw that dagger as a warning shot and pull him away from her.
Okay, make me a dex roll to throw this dagger at her.
Please don't roll a double one. Oh, yeah!
Oh yeah!
That's like a 13, John.
Okay.
I was ready.
What's your damage?
I don't know what damage is on a dagger. Is it the same
It's
as
your
on
damage, whatever your damage is, your
Oh,
character
damage
sheet.
on your character sheet.
It's not a mortal blow, but it's I know that it's intelligent enough. That's a 6.
Okay, you throw this dagger, it strikes her in the chest. You see like red blood soaking through her dress. She sort of falls forward over Sanya. Sanya, you're instantly sort of like jarred into wakefulness as your wife falls across you. You can see this dagger sticking out of her chest,
What
her
a
blood
bastard.
staining her white dress. She's like, her voice sort of fading away as if she's struggling to take a breath. She sounds quite pained. You see her sort of like with shocked eyes looking up, and as you follow her gaze, you can see Rufus stood there.
Well, that's gonna be bad
Well,
for
I'm
you.
dead. Okay, I'm going to catch it through a blender.
But you were on the verge of passing out a moment ago.
Yeah, I just got woken up. I literally follow me and I see blood flowing down her and it's on her chest. And I look down and I look up and I look down and I'm like trying to shake her awake.
She looks up at you and she sort of raises a shaking hand to sort of like touch your cheek, Sanya, and then in a sort of quite a weakened, quailing voice, she says, "Just take me away from all this, my love."
I'm going to shoot Rufus the dirtiest look I can think of. I'm going to grab her and I'm going to run.
Okay.
Even though I'm exhausted, I'm like fucking just stumble away.
He shoots you this look, and you're pretty sure if you had any flames to hand at the minute, like Rufus, if like, looks could kill, you would have just like immolated on the spot and like turned to ash. And he scoops up Maria and starts running away from you down the street.
God damn him in his flame shooting ass. I'm going to pursue.
Okay.
If I don't, he's dead.
Make me a dex roll to pursue them, Rufus.
Can you guys see that? It rolled, but didn't come up on the screen.
No,
Yeah, sometimes we'll 20 bucks out.
yeah, just tell us what you get, man.
No, it came up but then disappeared. I don't know what it was. Like it flicked on and off. All right. I'll roll it again. I can't. There we go. Oh, that's 13 again.
Okay, so slowed down as he is carrying his wife, you're pretty easily able to catch up to Sanya, who's like literally like cradling his wife in his arms, sprinting down the street.
Can I just suggest, doesn't a 10 or greater have a miss coming?
No, it's already been.
Oh, I didn't know.
I've already been, yeah.
Sorry.
That's absolutely fine. It's a new ability. It's worth making sure everyone knows what's going on with it. So you're literally within like arm's reach of Sanya now, Rufus. You've caught him up because obviously he's carrying a person. You're not.
I'll wait till since I know he's gonna catch up. As he gets really close, I'm gonna lean back, and I'm going to set the entire way behind me on fire.
Okay, make that roll.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay, so as you're just about getting close to him, you see Sanya sort of like screeching to a halt momentarily, turns around, throws out his arm, and just this like wall of fire springs up between you and him in the alleyway.
That's all right. That's fine. I'm gonna throw one of my other daggers at him, and this one has my sleeping poison attached to it.
Okay, make that volley roll. 36 plus dex.
Why you gotta be that way, Sanya? Oh God, what's going on with this thing?
I believe in you.
It's not okay. Okay, maybe not. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, John.
Mark that. Oh no, you've got a 7.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to say, presumably, are you throwing it to actually damage him? What's your intent?
No, just graze him. It's knock him unconscious because if he goes with this woman, I am convinced he's dead.
Okay, so I'm going to
because
say
I know what she looks like.
you throw this dagger through it. It very slightly grazes you, Sanya. Now I'm going to ask you to make me a Constitution roll to see if the poison affects you. However, you will get a +1 to this roll because it's only a slight graze.
Oh, cool. Well, I make it with flying colors.
Okay.
Shit.
The dagger grazes him ever so slightly. He sways for a little bit, but otherwise seems unaffected. Probably enough of the poison didn't get into his system from the little nick he took.
Hell, my blood actually boils as it cuts me on that corner.
Sanya, you're being an idiot. Look at your tattoos. Think of the things that you've told me. This is madness.
I'm too far gone at this stage. I'm just gonna keep going. I don't care what he
Please
says.
make me an intelligence 2d6 plus intelligence, Sanya.
Go on then. 4, 5, 6, 6.
Okay, mark that XP. That's not a problem. Okay, now Rufus, what you've noticed, but Sanya seems completely oblivious to, that this wall of fire that he's summoned up between you, it has this weird sort of green colour to it. But Sanya appears to be completely unaware of this. Now, you know before when he summoned fire and it went green in Jasper's Tower, it freaked him the fuck out. Whereas now he just seems to have not even clocked it.
Can't you see what you're doing? You're getting poisoned. This creature is destroying you. Look at the flames.
Once again, I've already failed. I can't come back. I'm just gonna keep going.
But Rufus is attempting. Sanya, I can't fix this problem in the city without you. I can't do it on my own.
He stopped listening, Rufus. He's already turned around and he's heading off with his wife again.
I'm gonna have to keep going. He's my buddy.
How are you going to keep going? He's cut your escape. He's cut your route off with his wall of flames. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna get on the roof.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is you're going to need to make me a dex roll to keep up with him. However, you're going to have a -1 to this roll. So obviously you've got to climb a roof and then go across the roofs. All he's got to do is run in a straight line.
All right, so that's 9 plus 2 then, with my minus included. So that's 11.
Okay, not a problem. With the greatest of skill and pulling all your thief skills out the bag, almost so it's like muscle memory. It's all starting to come back to you now.
Why is it Rufus is always awesome when nobody's paying attention?
You scale this building and you're sort of running roof to roof, jumping over the narrow gaps between the buildings, following him. You can see that they're running, and you notice now, Rufus, as they're running, that they actually appear to be making their way westwards. You know what's to the west of the city.
Is it the graveyard by any chance?
It is.
Yeah. Okay. Once I get within striking distance, I'm going to try and knock Rufus unconscious. Like, Sanya unconscious. I can knock myself unconscious, no problem.
Okay, so while we're spinning across the roof, I'm just going to flick back for a few moments to Blythe. Them to have run out like crazy fools out of the tavern. What are you up to, Blythe?
Yeah, so I expected them to come back in 10 or 15 minutes. After about, it seems like they've been gone now. After a while, I'm going to sort of curse her name. I'm going to put down the hookah and I'm going to go walking out looking for them.
Okay. Not a problem. Make me a discern.
They're my meal tickets.
Roll,
sure.
which is plus
what
wisdom.
Stat is that? Intelligence?
Wisdom.
Okay, not looking good. 1 and... What was the other one? I don't know. I'll roll one more. Oh, there's one number. Oh, so no.
Okay, you do get to mark an XP. You sort of run out into the streets. You can't see them. You head down a few side streets looking for them. But after about half an hour searching, you've not managed to find them.
I'll go back to where I was. I mean, that's the only place I can hope to meet up with them then.
Okay, no problems. Meanwhile, Rufus, you follow them. Sanya, you're running with your wife, and the buildings seem to fall away in front of you. And you see the large metal sort of fence that stretches around the huge public graveyard of the holy city of Amarana. There are a couple of guards stood by the gates.
I guess, well, if I'm running that way, what does she say?
She's not really saying anything, just lying in your arms. It's weird. It's you weren't picking any direct route as you ran through the city, but it's as though somehow you've ended up at the graveyard. You're not even sure how.
I'm going to slow down at this point because I'm like, how the fuck did I get here? And I look at her like, "Are you all right, Maria? Maria?"
She smiles and says, it's getting difficult to breathe, my love. It's all getting dark. The knife, and she like this knife's like still sticking out of her chest.
I'm gonna pull it out.
You put it out, she lets out a whimper as like a little bit of blood like gurgles to the surface of this
I,
wound.
I'm gonna come to my senses and be like, "Guards, guards, anyone, please help me!"
The two guards like hear you and they come running over and they're like, what's going on, sir?
My wife, she's been injured. Please help.
Your wife, as the guards are sort of bent over and they're sort of like trying to see what state she's in, your wife turns and looks at you. For the first time, you notice, Sanya, that her eyes have gone a little dark, and then she says, "Please, my love, just turn away for a few moments. I don't want you to see this."
What? And I sort of like, I don't turn away. I'm gonna look like I don't know what's going on.
She
I'm
looks
completely
at
enthralled. I'm like, yeah.
she looks at you, sort of like a pleading look in her eyes, and you see a couple of tears run down her face. And as the tears roll down her face, you realise the tears are red.
Oh my word. Oh, shit, Rufus was right. I'll turn away for a second.
You turn away for a second, and then from behind you there is a loud scream.
And then I'll turn back.
You turn back, and your wife is stood there, and just sort of stood up now, looking fine, and the two guards are lying face down on the floor.
What did you do?
She looks at you, and there's no sign of wounds on her now, and she says, "I'm sorry, I didn't want to do that, but your friend, he hurt me. He cut me." You're perched on a building nearby, Rufus. You can see all this going on. Now, what you've seen, Rufus, is as Sanya turned away, as the guards were over, she reached up with like both her hands, sort of put them on the side of the face of these guards, and they basically both started spasming and shaking as though they were having some sort of seizure. Then they fell face forward onto the ground, and as she stood up, like her wounds were just like disappearing, so they were just dropping off her. And that's when Sanya turned around and started talking to her again.
Does Sanya look slightly paler than usual, by any chance? Does he look like
he looks a little bit pale and a little bit weak, but he seems to be like coming a little bit more to his senses now. You can hear like a note of doubt in his voice that you didn't hear before.
Uh-huh. I'm going to try and approach as quietly as I can.
Make that 2d6 plus dex roll.
Stealth it up, baby.
I believe you.
I don't know
yeah.
what time of day it is,
It's 12.
but I'm going to say that since I had planned to go to the graveyard before dark, about an hour before then, I'm going to start heading for the graveyard because that's where I'll expect them to be then.
Not a problem. I'll tell you when you turn up, Blythe. Okay, so sorry, what did you get, Rufus?
12.
Okay, you've pretty much snuck up so you can hear the entire conversation going. You're crouched down behind like a cart, like a meter away from them. It looks as though someone was like trading here or something, but they've obviously like packed up and gone home. And you're crouched down in the shadow of this cart. They don't appear to have spotted you. So carry on your conversation, Sanya.
Like, what did you do to them?
Again, she looks sadly at you and says, "I'm sorry, but if I hadn't, the injury your friend had done to me, we'd have been separated again, my love."
How did you do that to them? They were fine a second. They scream, now they're down, and you're no longer. I mean, it's a miracle, but I of all people know gods don't give miracles.
She turns away from you, so like her head lowered slightly, and says, I'm afraid that the gods have nothing to do with this miracle, my love."
What's going on? Maria, I love you, and I'll always love you, but you need to tell me what's happening.
She turns back towards you, and again you can see like red sort of tear streaks down her face, and she says, we can't be together this way, Sanya. There's a wall between us, but you can step over that wall, and then we can be together, not just for today, but for always.
What are you talking about? What wall? You're right here. I can see you.
She smiles and says, "The veil of death hangs between the two of us, separating us as surely as any sea or wall or divide."
I start to laugh. Like I just like oh, 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 oh. Did I really think it was gonna be this easy after all that I've been through? Do you know what's happened to me in the last 10 years? Do you know what I did? Do you know where I've been? Do you know of the Blackfire Mountains?
She smiles and shakes her head.
They take you down there when you were accused of murder and horrible, horrendous crimes. They sentenced me in the city and they sent me down there. They put these stupid manacles on me and they branded my skin over the course of 3 days. I have nearly died every day for the last 10 years. And you know what kept me going? Was that I would never give them that satisfaction. And here you are asking me to die, something I have resisted for 10 years. For you, now.
She smiles at you and says, "Don't think of it as death, my love. You'll be like me. We'll always be together."
No, Maria.
These people, they've been so cruel to you. They've injured you. They've branded you. They've made you into what you are now for something you didn't do. And all I have done, all I've ever done, is love you.
Your love didn't save me from the Blackfire Mountains, Maria. And your love hasn't saved me this entire time until now. I love you to bits, but there's no way I'm dying for anyone. Not even you.
Okay, Rufus, you can obviously hear this conversation going on. At this point as well, Blyleth, you sort of like come round the corner and you can see this sort of this back and forth going on.
Yeah. I go slowly make my way there, eavesdropping as I go.
Okay, not a problem. She looks at you and says, "Sanya, my love, we've been given this second chance. I'm not asking you to step into the dark domain of death. I'll be with you every step of the way, and then we'll always be together. Always, not just for now, but for eternity."
And who's given us this chance, Maria? Who was it that brought you back?
A man who wants there to be no suffering in this world, who wants lovers not to be torn apart by the cold fingers of death.
Jasper.
She nods.
I look at the graveyard and I look at Maria. And then I go, I sort of walk up to the big metal gates, right? I'm gonna grab them and I'm literally going to melt them apart in anger.
That's so cool. I'm not going to actually make a roll for that. That's fine.
Thank you.
You melt.
And as I do,
gates.
I'm gonna turn my head, look behind me and say, Maria, my love for you states I cannot possibly fight you. So I'm giving you just one chance to leave. Leave here and never come back. Go somewhere, find your own way, survive, do what you need to, but never show your face to me again. If you do, I will kill you.
My boy's back.
She looks at you sadly and says, "But how can I be separated from you? Being separated again would be like a second death."
Then find your own gravestone. And then I'll walk in.
Okay, so Rufus and Blyleth, you've seen all this going on. He like strides into the graveyard. What are you two doing? You see that
I'm gonna walk up to him. I'm gonna walk up to him. I'm just gonna walk past her, give her a curious stare as I walk past. I'm gonna walk up to Sanya. Maybe she knows where this Jasper is.
We'll find him ourselves.
Okay, so Blyleth's headed into the cemetery after Sanya. Maria makes no attempt to stop you as you do so. Blyleth, what are you doing, Rufus?
Rufus sighs, the biggest sigh he's ever sighed. So stealthily, of course. All right.
Font 72.
It's just, why? He's half dead. What's he doing? Stealth side. I'm going to pursue a respectable distance so I can save this idiot.
Okay, now, if you're going to go into the cemetery in the same way they have, you will have to go past like Maria, who's just like stood there watching him.
Can I not like circle around and come over a wall or something?
You can try and do so. That'll be a 2d6 plus dex.
I'm going to do that. Come on. So that's a 12, John.
Yeah, no problem. You take a bit of a wide circle and you hop the fence a bit further down.
See, I'm good when nobody's watching.
Yeah, actually, I wonder if that actually happens or if that's just your perception of reality. Listen, when no one's watching, I'm really good. Sure,
I'm so good right now.
Yeah, tell it to the dice.
Anyway, as I walk past her, I mean, I walk pretty close, so I want to like eye her up and down, and I want to see if by looking at her skin, her eyes, anything like that, along with my bardic knowledge, that I might learn anything more about her or her kind.
Okay.
Or how to.
As you're walking past her, and you see the slightly drawn, pale version of her with like the dark eyes. You start to see the red tears down her face. You see her as I described her to Rufus rather than as Sanya saw her. And as you walk past, you're pretty sure that she's some sort of risen dead, and looking at the two guards that are lying face down with her, and as you sort of look at them as you go past, you see one has a hand outstretched, and his hand is very like withered, as though like the life energy had been sucked out of him. You think she's some sort of vampiric creature that obviously draws life energy out of others to sustain herself and heal herself.
Noted. I'm going to walk up to Sanya and that was your wife?
Ex-wife.
I'm
Till
sorry.
death did us part.
I understand.
You're
you're lucky she didn't hurt you.
As you guys are walking through the graveyard, you see like Rufus approaching from the right side because he's gone sort of a bit further down and hopped the fence. And he's like walking through these gravestones and mausoleums.
Well, it's good to know that some things about Rufus never change.
I sort of look at Rufus coming forward, and I want to apologize, but I just don't think I'm the right state of point for it, so I don't say anything. I just keep walking.
You see Sanya pause for a moment, Rufus, and he looks at you as though he's about to say something, and then he just sort of like starts walking again.
So we know this Jasper's here, or at least he will be tonight. Where exactly? Ideas?
I take a deep breath. I was being led somewhere, which means I was probably being led where he was. Can I still get that sense?
Have you thought about your wife's grave? I was trying to say without sounding nasty.
I take a deep breath and I go to my wife's grave.
Okay.
Well, if he did visit here, there might be some way to track him back to where he came from.
Okay, so you head to your wife's grave. Describe what your wife's grave looks like, Sonia.
Because I'm just a lowly scribe, and she was like from a noble house and all of that. She has one of those really nice looking areas. It's like a sort of like a it's not a crypt. It's like a normal burial patch of like a gravestone, because all I could have afforded with all my money that was left if I was thrown into jail. It's a fairly nondescript area, but it's away from everything else. And just like the flowers I planted for her, there's a row of flowers in a circle planted around her gravestone.
Okay, and that's what the graveside looks like. However, the actual part of the grave where she'd been buried is just like open and exposed, as though something had dug its way out.
If she made her own way out, something called to her. Something bid her to do that.
Maybe we can find a trace of it nearby.
Or maybe we can follow others it is calling.
I look around. Are there any other graves that are open?
There are a few other graves that are open, dotted about.
Do they, by any chance, form a line we could follow?
They don't know.
Or maybe like there's a focal point. Is there like a focal point? What I mean is, a point of interest, I should say, within the graveyard, a particularly elaborate tomb or something like that.
Yeah. Can
Okay.
I look around, see what I can
Can
discern?
I try a different tack, John?
Go for it.
Is there any way? Because
You gotta
Rufus has
mention
been to
it.
this city before, right?
Yep.
Is there any way for me to ascertain if Jasper had any family here buried in this graveyard as well?
If you potentially look around a bit, you could do so. At this point, I'm going to say, any of you wish to like study this location, you can make me a discern realities roll, which is a 2d6 plus intelligence. Sorry, plus
Yeah.
wisdom.
Of course.
We do know Jasper's last name, so
Yeah.
Yeah, Jasper
straight up, I
Circus.
got a straight up 8.
I succeeded with 10, but
Uh,
discernment is
I got 8, so maybe not so much.
Okay, so Rufus and Blyleth, you can ask me one of the questions from the discern realities, and Sanya, you can ask me 3 of the questions from the list. If you guys want to sort of pull your knowledge, I don't mind if you effectively discuss what questions each of you are going to ask. That's
Okay.
fine.
Well, let's start with the main big one, which is what should I be on the lookout for?
Okay.
Your wife?
As you're looking around, you can see that some of the graves that have been like burst open have more recently been vacated than others. So whatever's going on here is obviously still going on, and you're effectively in the midst of a load of dead people who are like about to rise potentially. So that's probably what you should be on the lookout for.
All right. Anyone else? You guys want to go next, or do you want me to finish my 3 questions?
You go.
What here is useful or valuable to me?
Okay. As you're looking around, given the fact that your companions have mentioned that there might be some sort of pattern, you can see that there's a large mausoleum near the centre of the graveyard, and as you're getting nearer to it, there's more and more of these graves that have been vacated, as though like the effect's spreading out from there.
I think the last question should probably be, what here is not what it appears to be?
Okay, what here is not what it appears to be. As you look around, you remember the guard saying you wanted the patrols to be doubled on this graveyard, and so far you've seen like 2 guards on the gate.
That's a good point. Wait, that can't be right.
It's like, unless they had 1 guard on the gate before, and it's been doubled to
That'd be
2.
really dumb.
That doesn't seem likely, given like how like fired up the guards were about, or something's coming from the graveyard.
Right, those are my 3 questions.
Okay, so knowing or having a very good idea what I'm about to face, some sort of undead, in that vein, what here is useful or value to me? I'm looking for something that can help me combat or defend myself against these. So maybe some sort of holy relic that has some sort of,
Okay, let me think about that for a few moments. So, Matthew, if you
Okay,
want to ask
sure.
your question while I'm thinking about Rob's.
I was going to ask what's going to happen now. What's about
Okay.
to happen
What's about to happen is,
as I'm scouting about?
as you're looking around, you can see that like the earth on some of these graves is starting to like bulge a bit, as though like something's like pushing on it from underneath. So you expect that like some mo of these like undead creatures are about to rise up.
Whatever we do, guys, we need to do it quickly. We're going to have company soon.
You've sort of moved away a bit, Blyleth, as you're sort of looking around, and you actually see one part of the graveyard, as is traditional in the holy city of Amarana. There's a small shrine to the god of the earth, Gatan,
Got it. It's time.
and you notice that none of the graves sort of like immediately surrounding that small shrine appear to have been vacated.
Okay, so looking over the shrine, can I notice something that's particularly holy looking, valuable, stands out?
It appears to be
Might be
a statue of a man with very angular features, almost as though the man was made of stone. He stood there with his arms folded across his chest, a very sort of stern look on his face, as though he's some sort of guardian, and he has robes cascading down. It's all carved out of stone. You can see that people who've come to the graveyard have made like offerings. There's like candles that have burned down around it, flowers, etc. You also notice a lot of people seem to have placed like sort of various coloured pebbles around the base of the statue.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say I have some tiny, like 1 coin value gemstones on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to put on maybe 6 of these in a sort of symmetrical pattern on the grave. And I will say a respectful prayer to Kitan. and ask that he watch over me in the next few hours.
Okay, as you do so, you feel a sense that like your actions are right and they're proper. You feel a sense of justification in what you're doing. Going forward, any attacks you make against undead for the rest of the night will be with a +1 to your attack roll. Okay, so as you're looking around, Rufus, and you say, "Oh, I think shit's about to get real." The ground around you explodes outwards, and these 4 figures like hurl themselves out of the ground. These emaciated skeletal figures with these long, needle sharp pointed teeth. They literally burst out of the ground, heading about sort of 5 foot in the air, and then land sort of crouched by the grave, sort of looking around, sniffing the air in this feral, predatory, almost hungry way. And then one of their eyes locks on you, Rufus.
20,000 gold, baby.
Wasn't it 2,000 gold?
Oh, sorry. Inflation.
You know what Rufus
I
is like. He's
should
always
say
digging
that.
himself up.
Actually, pause ago. Wasn't it 2,000 gold?
You know the White Raven is his own best self-publicist, man.
I sort of took a deep breath and I walked forward and I'm calm. I'm calm as I summon my brand and try and make a weapon in my hands.
Okay, make your roll to do that. Okay, I'll tell you now that effectively as you guys are sort of moving in a bit, 2 of these creatures have sort of headed towards Rufus because he was like the most obvious person there. 1 each has headed towards, one towards Blythe, 1 towards Sanya.
Good.
Awesome. I only got 1 tag, which is boring, but I'll take
Do you
it.
want us to do an order, or what do you tell us?
Yep, so Sanya's summoning his flames, so Blythe, what are you going to do?
Hand.
As this
So I want to run back 10 meters and hide get some partial cover behind a gravestone, and I'm going to pull out a bow.
Yeah,
I'm going to
that's
take
fine.
a shot at it.
Make your volley roll plus dex. Don't forget you get a +1 as well.
Ugh. Yeah, I still think it's only a 6. AC 3. Yeah, I think it's only a 6. 6. So I shoot it, just misses it.
Okay, mark yourself an XP. Okay, as this thing flies, this arrow flies over its shoulder, it sort of turns its head around to watch it go and lets out this like hiss. You can see it's like needle teeth chattering together as the 2 of them drop to all 4s and like bounce towards you, Belilah. Although you're a good distance away at the minute still, so.
The one of them, you said.
Yeah, sorry,
was
one of them.
guy.
You're absolutely right. That was my mistake. I do apologise.
Yeah.
It's because I was getting ready to go on to Rufus, who has got 2 sort of bounding towards him. Okay,
Yeah.
Rufus. Again, your 2 have also dropped to all 4s and are hissing like almost like animals, although they're obviously humanoid. They bound towards you. You can see the light of the waning day as like dusk starts to fall, glinting off these needle sharp teeth as they bound towards you.
Goody.
What do you do, Rufus?
I'm going to back towards my friends and take a defensive posture. I don't know how many more of these things could be in the ground ready to come at me.
Okay,
I don't.
Make a 2d6 roll plus con.
Plus con. Interesting.
Taking a defensive stance.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's a 10, John. Just enough.
Okay, not a problem. As one of them moves towards you, you basically like knock it away with your weapon. You don't really damage it, but it buys you enough time to get like back to your companions. Although these things are slowly sort of circling around you in the manner of animals on the hunt. Okay, Sanya, you've made your attempt to summon your flames. There's one of these creatures moving towards you. You see Rufus has like knocked one away with his blade and is like backing towards you guys.
Excellent. So as he's walking towards me, I sort of lift up my hand, and my whole hand just goes on fire. And the goal would be basically to grab him and burn him that way. But it depends on how I roll, because the dice could just fuck me. So let's see what happens. Oh, never mind. I'm great. I'm fucking amazing. So it's all good.
Okay, roll
So
damage.
the goal is that it's running towards me, right? As it's coming forward, I'm gonna reach out one hand, grab one of its hands, grab its face, sweep it up onto the ground, and just burn it from then on in. And
Sweet.
that's if I roll really good, which I don't know because it depends on the dice. And 4.
Okay, so what you described happens as you like plant this thing's face into the dirt, like burning it. It's still alive, but it's like thrashing about as you're sort of like slowly like burning its skull from the inside out, pretty much like superheating its cranium.
I'm like, I'm getting really tired of the undead.
Okay, Rufus, can you make me a roll 2d6 plus dex?
Is this defense roll, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, you got it. Not good for 5, 6. Oh, for 5, 6, 7, John. My brain could not
Okay,
compute.
I'm going to give you a hard choice now because you've got a 7. One of these creatures has like hurled itself through the air. It's obviously not actually trying to get to you. It's trying to get to Sanya, who's like a little bit behind you. It's just trying to like jump over you effectively. You can see Sanya's got his like back to it because he's like burning this one on the ground, and it's blatantly just going to like land on his back and like do some damage to him. Now you've got a chance if you want. You can like throw yourself in the way and take a bit of damage, but it won't get to Sanya. Or you can sort of let it go over you, at which point it's going to like hit Sanya like a freight train.
I can take it. Don't worry.
I'm going to save my brother because he is weakened right now. He's not had a good day.
I'm fine.
He's not himself.
Okay.
On the plus side, I have one of my abilities that kicks in at the moment because I'm surrounded, so I get more armor.
Okay. Can you roll me a d8, please, Rufus?
You're gonna run 8. Watch for this.
Oh, no. 2.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you take 3 points of damage minus whatever your armor is.
Okay, I shall take my damage, which is 1. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you basically like leap up into the ground. This thing like hits you in the chest, and you both fall to the ground, so like wrestling with each other.
Can I just check, when we rested, John, earlier on in the session, how much health did we regain?
You always get back half your total.
Half your
You get
max,
that
yeah.
pack. Yeah.
Right.
That's how much you always get when you rest.
Unfortunately, you don't get any of that like fruity d6 that Milo normally gives you extra because he's not there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now there's still one that's the other one that's coming after you, Rufus. So as you're on the ground wrestling with this first one, the second one is going to try and get at you. How would you dodge it? Or would you dodge it? Bear in mind, you're sort of rolling around on the ground wrestling with this first one, and the second one's going to try and get on you as well.
Can I kick it? Like,
Yeah,
flick my
make me
my
a
boot out?
2d6 roll plus strength.
Oh, yeah. I've been working out while we've been on the road. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, John. With my...
Okay, roll me a d8.
Take that, you already dead creature. 2.
Okay, you take another 3 points of damage, minus armor, obviously. So basically what happens is you kick your foot out to hitting this thing in the face and stopping it getting any nearer, but it's like teeth clamp into your boot, and you feel these sharp teeth sort of grade your already injured foot.
Lovely.
Okay, Blyleth.
Give me a clubfoot too. So this thing's probably close the distance to me now. So I'm gonna bring up my rapier and I'm gonna try and stab it.
Okay, make a hack and slash roll. Don't forget your plus 1.
Oh yeah, 11, 12.
Okay.
Actually.
Roll your damage.
Hot.
I know. Hey, 6 max. Look at that.
Okay, now if you wish, you can choose to do an extra d6 damage, but you'll expose yourself to the enemy's attack.
Can I get a sense of how injured my first stab did? Or no? Yeah.
Your first, roll your damage for your first stab. That's fine.
Well, I did 6.
6.
Then you said I could roll another 6.
Okay, this thing's pretty injured from your first stab.
Another 2.
Okay, so you will take effectively half damage from it since you expose yourself to its attack. So
Okay.
roll me a d8.
Come on, baby. Hey, 1.
Okay, so you take 1 point of damage minus whatever armor you've got. So describe as this thing moves forward how you pretty much skewer it with your rapier.
So I'm standing by a gravestone that's maybe 3 feet in height, and it's powerful, but it's not particularly agile. Like it's a little clumsy, even though it's fast. So I kind of step sort of so the graveyard, at least the lower half of me, is blocked. As it claws at me, I lean to the side, and I jab my rapier into it. It just gives me a little scratch on the arm.
And that's exactly what happens. It falls back. You can see that it seems to be moving a lot slower now. Its swings are getting a lot clumsier. Okay, back to Sanya.
All right, I've got this thing on the floor burning. I'm gonna try and put my foot on it and use my flame just to rip its head off.
Okay, it's struggling to get free and basically get its teeth into you. So make me a roll plus strength.
Oh, plus strength. Shit. Okay, never mind. Oh wait, I can still use my intelligence for this because of
Of the flame, you can indeed.
Good luck, Lloyd. 5, 6. I fail.
Mark XP.
Yeah.
Okay, roll me a d8.
It's okay. Damage is good. So I'm gonna run 8. 2.
Okay, you take 7 points of wound damage.
Excellent.
Basically, as you sort of put your boot on this thing, it throws your hand off and pretty much grabs your leg with both of its hands and and starts like gnawing at your leg. You feel these needle sharp teeth puncture your skin.
As it does, my blood on that section boils and heats up, and it resists some of the damage from that.
Absolutely fine. Okay, Rufus, you're pretty much on the ground with like 2 of these things on you. What are you doing?
So I'm gonna. Is there any open graves nearby?
Yeah, they're dotted all about this place.
I'm gonna try and roll and throw one of them in there to get one off me just briefly.
Okay, make me a roll plus strength because you're having to like heave them off you.
Yeah. Come on, baby. Oh my god. That's gonna be a 12. I couldn't get much higher.
A regular Buffy.
Not a problem. You roll to one side and you basically throw one of
Touchdown.
these things off you into this open grave. You can hear it sort of scrambling to get up, but obviously the grave's quite deep and it's quite wet because snow's still falling. However, the other one is still clawing and gnawing at you. So roll me a d8.
Yeah. That's the thing. Okay. Oh no. That's an 8
crap.
Okay, you take 13 points of wound damage.
That's pretty bad. Don't die.
That is pretty bad, guys. I am nearly dead.
What sort of state are you in?
I have currently 3 health.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Blyleth, as you're sort of like rapier fending off this one, and it looks like it's on its last legs, you hear this ear-shattering scream.
Like a white raven.
From Rufus, right?
Yeah, as you
How
see
close
Rufus,
is he to me?
it'd take you a move to get to him, and you'd have to get round this thing that's still going at you.
You said it was crawling away, actually.
Yeah, it's sort of crawling away, but more just to like get its bearings so it can like spring back at you.
All right, so I'm going to take I'll take a couple steps in the Rufus's direction. You know, maybe move a part of the way, but also angle slightly, gains a little bit of distance from this thing. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to just put my bow into it. Like, I don't want it to scratch me again, so I'm just going to fire an arrow with it.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. You start circling around, so make that roll plus dex. Don't forget you get an extra +1.
Yes. Ooh, 7.
Okay, now I'm going to give you a hard choice with this. You can either sprint to sort of like Rufus and you can get there this round, ready to act next round, but that will put you a shot wide and you won't have killed this thing, or you can delay it and not get there until like the end of next turn, but you'll finish this thing off.
All right, so I'm going to pick the former option on the thinking that this thing is slow and wounded, and Rufus doesn't look like he's going to last much longer. So I'm going running over there, and as I do, I've got my bow in one hand and I'm pulling my horn off.
Okay, no problem. So literally at the end of this turn, you're like almost within like 10 foot of where Rufus is. Okay, Sanya.
All right. So I've still got this thing to deal with. I'm just gonna try this time. Like it bit onto me, and I'm like, I don't particularly like that. I'm gonna put my hand on its head. I'm just gonna burn the head off.
Okay, make that roll.
Let's not fuck around with it. Five, six, six. I fail again. No, yeah, I fail again.
Mark an XP and roll me a d8.
Oh my god, I can't stop rolling these d8s. Six.
Okay, you take 11 points of wound damage minus whatever armor
Oh,
you've
it's
got.
so painful.
So basically, as you try and
And
burn this thing, it pretty much like knocks you to the ground, and it's like on top of you, like ripping at your chest, clawing through your clothes, like biting at your flesh.
damn creature.
Okay, we come now to Rufus. One of these creatures is off you. You've heaved it into this empty grave. There's still one on you, though. What are you doing?
Unmute myself first. So one's in the grave, one's on top of me. I'm going to try, with the last of my strength, to drive my sword through the one on top of me.
Okay, make that roll plus strength.
Everything I got
I believe in you.
is not enough. That's
don't.
just a 7.
Oh, you would die from this, wouldn't you?
Okay, so roll your
Stop,
damage.
stop, stop, stop,
uh,
stop, stop.
Oh,
I'm the thing is burning by my. I see Rufus in trouble, right? And as I do, I lift up my hand. I look into the fire in my hands. I look at Rufus and I go, "Try harder!" And I push Rufus's power from what's called roll from 7 to 10.
okay, sweet.
Nice.
Well, sweet.
So he holds his hand up to this flare of now like almost pure sort of white fire rather than that the unhealthy green of necromancy. And he shouts, "Try harder." And as he does so, you feel this like warmth flow into your limbs,
Yeah, like
almost guiding
the
your blade.
snow on the hilt of my blade sort of goes, and I can get a bit of grip, and I can fully just give it.
Okay, roll your damage.
Please don't roll a 1. Please don't roll a 1. I've never before ever wanted so badly to roll an 8. Well, 5 will do.
Probably.
Okay, you drive your hissing, heated blade. You see the metal of your blade starting to like heat up and glow. You drive it into its chest. There's this sizzling sound as it lets out this high-pitched screech that seems to echo around the graveyard. It sort of falls back off you, allowing you to scramble to your feet, but it's still standing, even though it's got this livid, burnt wound through it. Okay. Blyleth, you're there. You're pretty much next to Rufus. You can see there's one down in this grave that's scrambling to get up. There's also the one fighting him.
So I'd like to say I'm not beside him, but rather maybe 5 feet behind him.
That's
He can
fine.
do the fighing.
Yeah,
I'm fine
I
with
understand.
that. But I'm going to do a loud like tweak on my horn, and I will heal Rufus for 5.
Okay, so as
5
you're sort of
minutes.
as you're holding out your now glowing, hot, heated sword, heated by the fires of Sanya, you hear this melody, this flute music playing around you, and you feel energy starting to like flow back into your limbs, Rufus. Okay, Sanya.
Keep going.
We're trying, I say, as I'm now like double hand burning this thing, going, please roll better than a 6. Oh, here we go. 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, that's a hit. I'll take it.
Okay, not a problem. So roll your damage. You will still take some damage
8.
from its attack, though.
I'll take it. Better than nothing.
Okay, so roll me another d8.
Please roll a 1. Oh, come on, dice.
What did you roll? Sorry, I can't see. Is it 5?
5.
5.
So,
I
so
could
you,
roll higher than 3 when I was trying to heal.
So you will take 4 points of wound damage minus your armor.
Excellent. Oh, that's perfect.
However, the damage you have done
Oh.
as you're wrestling with this thing will finish it off. So describe to me how you dispatch it and how it damages you.
So it sunk its teeth into me. I'm gonna grab it by the head. I'm gonna rip it off its head, so that I bleed off the rip I do. I'll lift up into the air, and my hand is still glowing flames, but now the other one does, and I'm just going to disintegrate it in the end and throw it apart. As it falls to both sides.
Okay, no problem. As you grab its head, its jaws clamp onto your arm, inflicting that small amount of damage. Then you concentrate, feeling like this fury go through, and you just wrench its head off the blood falling out of it, like hissing as it's superheated. Its body twitches for a few moments and then lies still. Okay, Rufus.
And I'll turn to help the others. But that's my
Okay,
last
Rufus,
turn.
next to you, the creature that was in the grave like hurls itself out of the grave to like stand next to you. The other one that was still level with you, the slightly injured one, hurls itself towards you. What are you doing as these two things like dive at you?
There's two of them still.
Yeah, one's just leapt out of the grave and like towards you.
One's badly wounded there.
I'm gonna try and spin my blade and decapitate it. In a
Okay,
wild
make it
make
look
a hack and
cool.
slash roll.
There's not much chance for me to get away. I gotta do this a mano.
I believe in you.
That's
I
strength.
am you.
It's 11
Mano
if it's
a mano.
strength.
Hello, I'm right here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so roll your damage.
Yeah. Let's do this. I'm just gonna roll 2d8s for the hell of it. Oh, where did it go? 7. Yes.
Okay, so describe how you dispatch one of these creatures.
So yeah, I pick myself up, and as I pick myself up, the momentum of me getting up off the floor after Rufus's Charlie's assistance, I sort of like put my boot into the ground, digging into the snow and at the earth a little bit, and just spin around and take it clean off.
And that's what
And its
happens.
head sort of slides off, and it bounces off the gravestone back into the
Indeed. Now I need you to roll me a d8, please.
to die. That's a 5 as well.
Okay, you take 10 points of wound damage from the other one.
I am, yeah. I'm at minus. Eight.
Minuses don't matter. If you've gone to 0, that's fine. So you guys watch as Rufus spins round, decapitates one of these creatures. Then the other one like throws itself on Rufus and pretty much like tears his throat out.
Hello,
with its
darkness,
teeth.
my old friend.
His legs go out from underneath him as all his strength fails. He falls to his knees and then falls to the ground. This thing's still like attached to his neck, like blood just spraying out as it's thrashing its head about. Blyleth.
Well, there's no point in healing him at the moment. I'll just try and stab the thing that's munching on him.
Okay.
Oh, not bad. 11.
Okay, roll your damage.
Stop. I will sacrifice that to the flames.
Okay.
You're gonna make that
Sorry
a
about
miss?
that. Sorry about that. It's
I
important.
hate you. Well, it's really not me. You're just killing Rufus, but that's okay.
Okay, so as you dive forward, your attack misses this thing and it carries on gnawing at Rufus. Now, Rufus, since you've gone to 0 hit points, I need you to make me a last breath roll. This is a 2d6 roll straight down the line.
Okay.
Make it a good one.
There's nothing I can do to affect this.
I
Just
can
roll
play
it.
Funeral Dirge.
An 8.
No, it's not to 10.
Nice. I did wonder why you were stopping Rob's attack.
Yeah, sorry, Rob. So what happens is that I see
okay with
Rufus
that.
is dying. I look forward, and in my head, I don't physically see him, but I go, Rufus, I need, well, as he's going off, I go, sacrifice something. Oh, bring you back to life.
Okay, so
Trust me.
So Rufus, as
He
far as
wouldn't
you're
even pay me.
as far as you're concerned, Rufus, you're stood on this bleak, lonely shore. A huge glassy ocean spread out ahead of you with a mist hanging over it. And slowly out of the mist, a small barge appears, being poled towards you by a figure wearing a black hooded robe. And you know that it's your destiny to step onto that barge, and you know the black realm of death lies beyond that ocean. And as you're just about to step forward, you hear Sanya's voice saying, would you like to repeat what you
Give
said to him?
something to the boatman. You don't have to go.
Okay.
You can't
Does
see
this have to-
Sanya anywhere, but his voice just like echoes out of the air.
Just out of game terms, does this have to be a physical thing I have on me, or can
It
it
could be anything. It's the material world. You just sacrifice something to the flames.
The ferryman has drawn level with you. He holds out a
Okay.
hand, and you see this skeletal hand just like open, the black sleeve falling back to reveal this entirely skeletal arm as it holds its hand out towards
Okay.
you. Perhaps to gesture you onto the boat, perhaps to accept an offering, you're not sure. But you can still hear the echoes of Sanya's voice fading away in the air.
Rufus pauses. I offer something in trade.
What are you offering?
Can it be a memory? It can be literally anything.
It's not going to be some cheap-ass autograph like you tried to pay me off with.
You would have to find out. What are you offering to the ferryman?
I offer him the soul of the man that is chasing me for this. And he's like,
which man are you offering the soul of?
the man who has the other pieces of this, and I show him the artifact, the thing I've got.
The soul of that man's not yours to give.
Well, that's all kinds of interesting, isn't it?
It has to be something that's yours to give.
Okay. Can I give... Can I give him 5 years of my life? I'm already dead.
Yeah, to be honest, that's not really a good deal for him. Cause
Yeah.
That'll have all your life. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We're going to finish the rest of the combat with just those two.
Okay.
And that'll give you time to think about it.
Okay, I'll think.
Okay, so, Blyleth.
Time slows down for you.
Yeah, this thing's still gnawing on Rufus's neck. The blood's spraying everywhere.
I'm going to sigh. I was sure I hit the thing last time, but I'll try again. There. Fucking 13. You want to burn me for that one too, you bastard?
Roll that damage.
Don't tempt me, I will.
This thing almost seems to be paying no
Just
attention
kidding,
to you.
just
It's just like lost in like almost this bloodlust. It's like gulping, guzzling down the life fluids of Rufus. Roll your damage, Blyleth.
Woo! 4.
Okay, you hack at it, but it barely even seems to register it. Okay, Sanya.
All right, I'm gonna come in. I've got one more use of this burning brand left. I'm gonna try and take it out with that. Like run on in, just like suck it in, punch. Please don't fail this roll, Lloyd. I have so much XP. I don't want to waste any more. 6, 7. I'll take a hit, but I get it.
Okay, not a problem. So roll your damage on it first.
2.
Okay, then roll me a d8.
What you want at 8 now? Typical.
Well, the last time he did that, he applied the first number to the damage you took, and the second.
Yeah, you applied the first number to the damage I did, and the second, the first official roll.
It's true. It is true because it was 8 and 5, and you take 4 points of damage.
Okay,
So
you've taken 6 points of damage, Sanya.
Thank God for that.
However, you have distracted this thing from continuing to eat Rufus as it sort of like hurled itself on you. Although you can see that its body's taken some severe damage, it can't have that much more left in it. Blyleth, you can also see this. What are you doing? As it sort of like grapples onto Sanya and stuff?
Well, I've got to stab this thing before I can get any healing going. Doesn't really make sense.
Okay, make that hack
there we go.
roll.
There's another 11. Another 11.
Okay, roll your damage.
1.
We're not doing good for damage at all.
Now, don't forget, you can choose to take an extra d6 if you're willing to take some damage from it.
Yeah. In this case, 1 down, and he's just about to finish up a second one, so I'm going to do it.
Roll the d6.
So another 4.
Damage. Okay, now
That's 5 total.
Now roll me a d8.
Got it. 3.
Okay, you take 3 wounds of damage as it sort of claws at you. However, you've done enough damage to finish it off. So as it scratches you, narrate how you finish it off.
So I think I've been stabbing at this thing for a long time. I'm like, come on! I'm not used to fighting, so finally it's like I'm stabbing it even after it's dispatched. Stab, and falling down. Stab. Is he dead?
Okay, so as he says that, we cut back to the bleak shores on the border of the realms of life and death. Rufus, you stood there. The ferryman still has his skeletal hand outstretched towards you.
Would you accept my service in payment to return to life?
You know, it turns towards you and you can see under this hood just this skull with these empty eye sockets that seem to bore into you. And even though it doesn't speak, you can feel almost like it's in your mind the question of what service you're willing to offer.
The dead walk the earth once more. The land is sick. I will pledge myself to rid the land of this sickness, to return the dead to you as they should be. Then I will come and join you at my appointed time.
In
My day is not
in your
today.
head, you hear this like booming voice say, "It is not enough." You cannot barter with actions that you would already undertake.
Is there someone you wish me to return? Oh. Go ahead.
Within the next 10 days, find me a soul who is the equal of yours, and gift me that soul that I may take them to my realm, and I will release you. If you do not do so within 10 days, then your soul be forfeit and will enter my realm. Do you accept? And you see like two like pinpricks of light shining in the eye sockets of the skull.
Thinking that Sanya and his new friend Blythe are up there dying, yes, I accept.
Okay, so as you say, yes, I accept, you two guys, you're sort of like looking down at the body, or as far as you're concerned, of Rufus, when suddenly he's like, opens his eyes and waits. You've got 1 wound point back, Rufus.
Woo! Okay, so
I'm
I
back,
don't know
baby.
though. I need a rule. I got a rules question here. So I have this as a basic move. I have this healing chorus I can do.
Yep.
Can I do that like every time it's my turn?
Yeah.
Just so you know, when you do that healing thing, you have to roll a charisma afterwards. It's right there.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's part of it. Yeah, that's why you can't keep doing it, because of that.
Well, it just says on my sheet. It doesn't say that on my sheet, but I mean,
It's the arcane art, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
After arcane art, it says then roll charisma. On a 10 plus, the ally gets fed on 11 to 9. The spell still works, but you draw on one's attention, and your magic vibrates on the target defending the foe. James Toys. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's weird because they put it at
That's my
the
first
end
time
and not the
playing Bard.
beginning.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting mechanic though. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to cast a spell anyway, and then we'll see if I get to keep it. Right. That's right.
Yeah. So you want him to heal 1d8 damage? Is that correct?
No, I get to roll it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2d8 because I have the advanced version.
Yeah.
Go
So
for
you roll roll 2d8 and then roll
Look at
charisma.
that. Fucking 3.
Okay, you've got 3.
So I heal him for
wounds
3. I don't know if that helps him.
back. Okay, now
3 health.
Now roll your charisma.
Oh yeah, nice. 11.
Nice.
11.
Okay,
I
yeah,
get
so
to
your
keep
ally gets a selected effect, so you get 3 hit points back.
Sweet. I'll dust
Okay.
myself off.
Rufus, so as you're lying
Yeah,
there, right?
just wait. Just so we're clear on that. I think even if I rolled double 1, the spell still works.
Double 1,
No,
not
if
so
I
sure.
no,
7
no,
to
sorry,
9.
7 to 9, my spell would work.
Yeah, you
But
get
then I might
unwanted
lose
attention.
use of that spell for today. Right.
Well,
Okay.
that's-
I just
no,
wanted
No,
to
you
know.
can always use it.
Yeah,
It's just that
you can always use it. It's just if you roll a 7 to 9, the spell still works, but you draw some unwanted attention from elsewhere.
shit gets weird.
So what happens if I roll like 2 to 6? Then the spell fails? Is that
Then
how
the
it
GM
works?
makes a hard move, so he decides what happens.
Yeah, but basically, if you roll a 7 to 9, something slightly sort of risky happens. If you roll like 6 or less, something like really dangerous and bad happens.
Oh, so it's not that the spell fails; it always works. Okay, I got it.
Okay, so Rufus, as you're sort of like recovering and you hear this melody that Blythe is playing, and you start to feel a little bit better. You're obviously lying on the ground, sort of looking along the ground. You can see this large mausoleum in the centre of the graveyard, as I described previously, and you notice that like a green glow has started to like seep beyond the doors, the stone door of this mausoleum, as sort of darkness is slowly starting to fall.
Oh, God.
You can still hear
Running
the
out of
words of the
time.
ferryman echoing in your mind.
An equal soul. I mean, is that post White Raven? Like, is that me when before I became famous?
You'll find out when you offer him the soul. I mean, it's not like he gave you like the Haynes manual of like sacrificing souls or anything.
I look at Senya. He's mumbling.
I'm not asking questions. I'm too tired. I say as I too am bleeding slightly, and I wipe the blood off me.
My foot still hurts.
We'll heal it later. Are you good enough to stand?
I can stand.
Are you really able to carry on? I look at the pair of them, both badly
The
hurt.
green
Yeah, we're
glow
both-
shining through the cracks in the door is starting to glow brighter as
I
dark.
think we have to.
I don't think we have a choice. I think we have to see what's in there. Let's go see what's in there.
All right, so
Next
I am
week.
going to try and heal
Next
them
week.
again, but once we
Next
get
week,
inside
everyone's
the door,
dead, it's just
I'm not
Clark.
going to wait. At least I can heal them one more time or one of them. So that's my
Okay.
plan.
Go for
I'll
it,
go
go
with
for it.
them to inside.
As
And
you're
then we'll
getting
do
a
the
bit
heal.
nearer
At least-
Blyleth,
I don't want them to burn us and lock us out.
okay, as you're getting a bit nearer to the mausoleum, Blyleth, obviously being familiar with the legends, etc., of the city, you recognise that this is the royal mausoleum where the sort of heads of state are buried with like their most trusted bodyguards.
Oh, great.
So that was the easy part, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. We kind of nearly died of the easy part.
Wow. Okay, so I guess we're going to head towards this thing. At least I want to get inside the door.
True.
Okay, not a problem. You push the door open, and sort of lining the sort of atrium, the sort of main entrance into this mausoleum, are these figures wrapped with bandages, wearing like full regalia and armor, holding spears, all like lined up alongside each wall.
Oh,
Okay, Catan, I'm not here to steal anything.
we are
We're
not
here to
thieves.
help you. I have no idea if Catan can hear me, but I actually say that out loud.
You can see sort of at the far end of this atrium, there is a stone stairway which would head down into like the underground section of the mausoleum, where the heads of state will be buried with their bodyguards.
I would just like to walk to the top of the stairs and see if there's doors at the bottom or what.
Okay, yeah, you walk down between these two rows of soldiers, stand at the top of the stairs. You can see there's a large wooden door with like wrought iron fixtures at the bottom of these stairs, and you can just see this green light sort of shining from the cracks in the door. You can now hear a sort of low chanting coming from beyond the door.
I
Okay,
look
so
at Rufus go.
as I'm
Sorry, after you go on.
go ahead. I'm looking between these two rows of the dead. I'm whistling nervously. I'm not nervous or scared.
I look at Rufus and go, I know I usually insult your idea of stealth, but I sort of feel this might be your forte right now. Look,
think?
Rufus. Hold up. Actually, I just realized. I will patch Rufus up. I've got a healing potion.
Okay.
I'll pass it to Rufus. See if he can't drink it. I don't know how much it heals, though.
I believe it heals you 7.
All right. Pass him that. Be like, chuck it down.
Very kind, Sonia.
I can try to heal you again, but every time it's riskier.
I gain a bit of my colour back to my cheeks, and I seem to move with a bit more of my usual white waving grace.
As you're all sort of like moving towards the door where Blyleth is stood, there's a from behind you, and as you turn around to look, Sam, you see that one of the spears appears to have like fallen out of the hands of one of the skeletal guards, and it's just lying on the floor.
Can we move a little bit faster and quieter, please?
Okay.
Well, I can heal you now, but I might not get a chance to heal you later. And
All right, do it now. Do us both. That'd be great.
Sing quietly.
Say quietly.
twice.
Say quietly.
Twice. Let's try one at a time. So I'm going to try and heal Sanya first.
Roll them 2d8.
Hopefully, you roll a 5.
Right. So it's 2d8. Come on, give me some good rolls this time. Oh, there you go. 10 anyway.
Okay,
I'll take the
roll your
fucking 10.
charisma.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, 11 again, baby. Woo.
Okay,
Woo.
you start playing this tune and you feel reinvigorated and revitalized. Sam.
I'm just playing a really quiet, like little.
Yeah, you notice his normal sort of like quite sort of like jaunty tunes. This one's like
Du-du-du-du.
like playing it
Right.
as quietly as he can.
Okay, he'll send you, and then we're
Funeral
gonna put you
dirge
on.
music.
How much health was that?
That was 10 for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
now are you going to try and
I
heal
can only do
Rufus
one
as
at a
well?
time. Rufus, you're not living up to your reputation. You're disappointing me. Believe me, I'm going to collect on the favors.
To be fair, Blythe, my reputation's from stealing things, not from fighting things that are already dead.
That is also a good point.
Yes, you're supposed to be. Never mind. Let's just get this over
And
with.
did you not see that decapitation?
Yes, I also saw it maul you, and I saved you.
And I do also remember seeing you coming back from the dead. That was pretty impressive.
I mean, it was, yeah. Although I feel like that would come back to haunt me.
Okay, so
So I just killed you for 12 wounds.
okay, so 12 wounds. Sorry, 8 was it? You got for your roll.
So your spell still works, but you draw unwanted attention, or your magic reverberates to other targets, affecting them as well. GM's choice.
Okay.
Uh,
You hear
sorry,
the sound.
dude. Can't
You
help
hear
you.
the sound of clanking from behind you, and as you sort of look back, you notice that the armored guards have sort of slowly started to move. Like one of them's leaned forward, like
One
picking up his spear.
time, I want to play a fantasy session where I walk by statues of armor that don't
Move.
Just
Well,
once.
to be honest, we didn't wake
Not
them
gonna
up.
happen.
Never.
We didn't wake them up.
However,
Did I
they,
regain
they,
health
they
there
are
as well?
moving very slowly, like to use a machine metaphor, like they're just powering up. They're not sort of springing to attack
Let's
you,
go.
they're very slowly.
Let's go. So,
Let's go.
I'm moving down the stairs towards this door.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
pretty,
we're
you're
like
pretty
going
much
really
next to the
fast.
door, Blythe. You're like there.
Not there.
Yeah, I'm not opening it. I go to open it and they go.
So that song didn't work.
No, it did work.
I
On
healed
you.
you for 12.
He's healed you for
Yeah,
12.
you healed 12.
12! Oh
Yeah.
my god, I'm back in full.
You can
Oh,
hear
that's
the
good
sounds
for
of
you,
the-
I say as I bleed over here.
You can hear the sounds of like the skeletal
I
guards
flushed it there,
slowly
so-
starting to move. You can all now hear this sonorous chanting coming from the room beyond.
I love this
and
tune.
Rufus,
Whatever you're going to do, Rufus. Do.
Sanya and Rufus, you recognise
Sorry.
the voice of Jasper Sursk chanting behind the room. You've heard his voice before when you were in the tower.
All right, if we're fast, we might be able to take him out without him noticing. That would be great. Rufus, I believe in you.
I will notch an arrow in my bow.
I thought you wanted to talk to him.
Well, we'll talk to him after we subdue
Let's
him.
do something.
Doing first.
The guards are coming.
Let's go. Let's
Get
go.
in there.
Come on, Jasper.
Okay, I'm gonna get in there.
I'm like pushing Rufus to
Okay,
open the
obviously
door.
you're not going to be able to like stealth in there, Rufus, because you've got to like throw the door open. Okay, so you throw open the door and you see in this mausoleum chamber beyond, there's like shelves with bodies on them lining both the walls of this like massive chamber, because there's loads of like heads of state buried in there. You can see Jasper Sursk stood in the middle of the room. There is what looks like a circle drawn in blood around him. There's green fire licking from it and green runes hanging in the air around him as he's chanting. There are 4 robed figures sort of standing around him.
Great. 4 of them.
You've got a couple of seconds to react, Rufus, before he notices you've like slammed the door open. What are you going to do?
Rufus is gonna throw. Oh, I don't think I have any left. Damn it, never mind. I'm gonna try and run into the room and with my foot break that magic circle, or just disrupt whatever's going on.
That's
Cause some
absolutely
chaos.
fine. Make me a 2d6 plus dex roll to basically see if you can like get to the circle and rub it
You
out
know,
before they
when
deal
you
with it.
say that's fine, John, I feel like that is the worst possible thing I could have done.
It is never fine when you say it's fine.
So it's dex, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just. Oh my god.
Okay, you like dive across this room, slide in almost like American football style with your foot, and you smear this bloody circle, breaking it. The green runes in the air around Jasper Sursk like wink out of existence, and he turns around to look at you. You see like green fire blazing in his eye socket. He points a finger towards you, and green energy lances out towards you.
Look out! I'm gonna try and aid him.
I'm gonna dodge like you've never seen me dodge before.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you, you're not going to have time to sort of like dodge normally, so it's going to be a con roll for you to basically sort of like weather the worst of it.
Okay.
You
Could
can
I
roll to aid him
aid by
first.
throwing fire in front of him to like
Yep.
deflect the shot a little bit?
Make your aid
I
roll.
got 5. Does that mean I get XP? I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah, you get
5,
XP.
6. I don't aid you. Sorry, I don't aid you at all. You
Okay,
hit.
you
Sorry.
get XP. So that's
But I
good.
die.
He's about to take like what, 15 points of damage?
However, can you roll me a D10, please?
Oh God, Rufus, don't die.
I'll give you 2 souls of equal worth. That's 6.
That'll
John.
depend on the result of your last breath roll. Okay, so you take 9 points of damage, ignoring armor. As this green energy just hits you, you feel like your heart fluttering in your chest, as though like it's almost like sucking the life force out of you.
I'll be seeing you real soon, Dev.
Okay. Blyleth, you've seen Rufus run into the room, slide across the room, smudge the circle, the green glyphs have disappeared, then Jasper Circe just blasts him with this green energy, and you pretty much see him like rock back on his feet and almost drop to the floor.
So this door that Rufus pushed open, so I'm going to rush into the room, but not very far. I'm just going to rush in the room past the door and then kind of, jet back sort of behind it to use it for partial cover. And I've got my bow, and I'm just going to fire an arrow at him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make your volley roll.
Maybe. Oh yeah, 11.
Okay. Are you shooting at Jasper
12,
or
he's
one
undead,
of the
really.
4 robed figures that are around him?
Oh, definitely Jasper.
Okay, no problem. Roll your damage.
Oh, hold on. Wally does something cool as well. If you're using that, I can't remember what it does, but oh no, yeah, that's it. Just deal damage.
Okay.
4.
Okay, literally as he's like reaching out his arm, you see energy like gathering around his fist. He's obviously getting like ready to like blast Rufus into oblivion. Your arrow strikes him in the shoulder. You see him reel back, a look of pain on his rictus skull-like face. The energy like flickers around his hand, threatening to die out. Sanya, what do you do?
I'm going to summon a burning weapon in my hands. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I want to see what I roll first. If I could not suck at this roll, that'd be great. Wow, I fail.
Okay, you attempt to summon the fire, obviously marking XP, but as previously when you were in Jasper's tower, you can almost feel the corrupt energy of like his necromancy like acting to hinder you. And just this wisp of acrid smoke comes out of your hand again.
Okay, new approach. I go, Jasper Circus, we have the place surrounded. We know you're here. There's no way out. We don't want to kill you. We just want information.
Make me a charisma roll.
Come on, dice. Oh my god, the failure was terrible.
Okay, mark an XP for that double 1.
Can I at least earn a scoff in response, John, on top of whatever else?
Oh, of course. He looks towards you and he says, "Do you not think that if you had reinforcements, they would be in here now, rather than allowing you to die, puny mortal? Your false fire will not avail you here."
You just unslowed your fire.
I know, right?
Okay, Rufus, you're pretty much like on one knee,
I'm
like,
pretty much dead
literally
again,
like within
but,
arm's reach of him. You can see the 4 figures around him are drawing like curved daggers out of their robes.
Yeah.
Hold him hostage. Do something crazy.
What is in this room, John, that I can see? Anything that I can work with? Like, what's...
It's pretty much just an empty stone room. There's these shelves with bodies on them. He was in the middle doing his magic circle thing with these 4 like robed figures around him that are now drawing daggers. You smudge the circle, obviously stopping whatever he was doing. But other than that, it's a pretty empty room. It's a burial chamber. There may be like finery like wrapped in the bodies or whatever, but you'd have to like investigate them a bit more to like find that out.
And you told me last time he was immune to poison, or at least he wasn't.
You didn't try it, but you'd hazard a guess that since he doesn't have like normal biological processes, you can't really like get something into his bloodstream that's going to affect him because he doesn't need blood.
Just need blood. Right. And there's 4 other figures.
I will tell you, Blyleth, that with your knowledge of the undead, you know that that's true. You don't have to wonder. You know that like the undead aren't affected by poisons.
Can I tell if the other people in the room are human or undead? Like, can I see their faces?
You can't see their faces at the minute because they've got those long like hoods and their faces out down. They're just drawing these daggers out.
Well,
what about their hands? Can you see their hands?
Their hands do look like normal human hands.
There is no way for me to be stealthy in this time of combat, so I'm just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way.
I think the stealth is past.
The time of stealth is gone. So I'm going to have to try and just deal with him in melee with my sword.
I believe in you.
Okay, make
Please
that hack
don't
and slash
die.
roll, man.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I'm like, well, I miss you, Glag. So that's 10.
Glark, where are you? We need
Roll
you.
your damage.
I think I'm blind with it, right? Healing your ass.
I mean, it's a mighty 2.
That's pretty good.
Strong
Take
2, John.
take whatever you can get.
Okay, you slice him shallowly, but as you do, he like grabs hold of your sword, using it to like pull you close to him. His face is like a few inches away from yours. You can smell the stench of like rot and decay coming from him, and this green fire in his eyes seems to like glare into your very soul. Blyleth, what are you doing?
Okay, so I'm going to try and embrace the dungeon world rules here. So it says, with my bardic lore, which is dead and undead, when you first encounter an important creature, you can ask your GM one question, but GM will answer truthfully.
Okay, ask me a question.
What is Jasper's most vulnerable spot, or what's most vulnerable about him? How can I hurt him the most?
Okay, you think, based on your knowledge, that he's drawing power from this place of death, so he's more powerful while he's here because he's surrounded by death, like these dead bodies, etc. That's almost like powering him up. So his main weakness
So get
is
him away from here.
yeah, if he's not in a place of death, he's a lot easier to deal with. You're pretty much in his place of power now. You've gone into like his hood, and you're like basically like flicking him the V's, and he's not having it.
Well, that's
We're not
swell,
gonna
but that doesn't help me at all right now. So I'm going to just put an arrow into him then.
Go for it.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, another 11, baby.
Fucking you and your goddamn
And
crazy
3 damage.
Okay, now I will say, as you're watching, as your arrow goes into him, you can see Blyleth that you are sort of slowly wearing him down. You notice that when he's like summoning this energy, it's taking him a lot more effort to do so as these injuries are mounting up, so you know you are wearing him down.
Rufus, hurt his hands on your flesh.
Okay. Okay, Rufus, as he pulls you closer using your blade, which he doesn't seem to care about it cutting him, his skull-like mouth opens and you see green fire forming in his mouth, ready to jettison out towards you.
Can I see the fire?
Yeah.
The arrow catches him in the forehead.
I'm going to control the fuck out of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go, oh, you're making fire inside you, are you? And I'm going to basically expand it in his own mouth and just encase him in fire.
Okay,
Rufus, don't die.
Make a roll.
Please, please,
Will
please
that
don't
help
stop
him
this
or
time.
hurt him, though?
8, 9, 10. 11, actually,
Okay,
because that's
I'm afraid to
style.
tell you that despite your amazing roll, it doesn't work because
Yeah?
it's not actually fire.
Oh, god damn it! Why'd you make me roll that?
Because you had no way of knowing that in character.
Yeah, true, that's fair.
Okay, so you reach out and you can feel that although this looks like fire, it's so corrupted and it's so much the pure energy of necromancy that it's not actually fire. Your power affects like actual fire.
Damn.
Okay.
Well, I tried, Rufus. I'm sorry.
Rufus, this fire's jetting out at you. If you wished, you could make a dex roll to like, throw yourself out of the way, but you'd be like leaving your sword in his hand. Or you
Okay.
could choose to do something else. It's up to you, but you've only got a few moments to decide what you're doing. As this fire's like forming in his skull-like mouth, ready to like singe the flesh from your bones and return you to that shaded
Two
shore.
arrows sticking out of him.
Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. Ooh. Could I do that?
If you
That
say,
even
can I
works.
backstab him, I will like, run round to your house now. Just like,
I mean, I'm a thief. How? Oh, like I've seen Sanya's tattoos, right?
Yep.
Like I've seen them for quite a considerable amount of time.
yeah, you spent a long time together.
Are they like a language, or they just?
Well, Sanya, over to you.
Yes, they're like a language that is written on people's skins, and it's a language of the gods.
I see what he's, because I've seen him try to control fire before. I've seen it. I've seen him doing it. I see him out like the pause he does, and the pompous way he does it. You know, he kind of like, I can control fire. What can you do? You're just a guy. Can I, with my dagger, because I've got a sword and dagger. When I fight, I have a sword and a dagger in my hand, right? So he's got my sword arm.
Mm-hmm.
can I carve the symbol of fire into his flesh
Ooh.
as if evoking Kavesh onto him, turning his breath into fire, thereby confusing the hell out of him?
That is fucking insane.
It's dangerous.
That's insane, but I do love it. However,
Fucking
what I'm going
do
to say,
it.
I'm going to say that's going to be a roll plus strength, and even if you succeed, you will still take damage because you're not moving out of the way of his fire. You're just like carving into it.
Yeah, I'm
And
trying
you're not
to.
going to be able to carve this intricate pattern before.
The
it
only
blasts
I'm trying
you.
to fight fire with fire. The only thing that can fight this thing is something that's not me. It's something that's actually powerful.
Okay.
I'm just a dude.
Oh,
I'm
Make
getting risky.
your roll plus strength.
So that's 6, 7, 8, 9,
Okay.
10. Oh, yeah.
Roll me a d10.
Oh fuck! Don't die. I can't save you again.
No, oh, where did it go? 4.
Okay, you take. Just check. You take 7 points of damage, ignoring armor.
Oh my god, I'm alive.
How much are you alive
I
by?
have 2 points left.
Oh,
two.
good. Fuck me. How are we not dead?
Okay, as you carve this symbol onto his flesh, he howls and he literally like hurls you away from him. Your sword clatters to the floor out of your grasp, but he's like thrown you back from him.
I didn't backstab him, but I
he
surprised
basically sort of like he does actually genuinely seem to be in pain. He ducks like back behind these 4 robed figures who are like rushing towards
wasn't it
you with
Kavesh that
curved
punished him?
knives. It was indeed. Well
Yeah,
remembered.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, there's a connection there.
Like I say, he's ducked down behind these like acolytes, I'll call them for ease of reference, who are now like 4 of them rushing towards you with these curved daggers held up.
Oh, I can't fight 4 people. We have no health. Since he carved the symbol of Kovesh, does that mean that whatever's inside him has become fire now?
It's possible. Obviously, you've never been the biggest fan of Kovesh, so you don't know all the.
I don't think
workings,
even
but-
Jasper knows what's going to happen to him now.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing at this point. No one does. But I'm gonna try and control that fire.
I think I'm next, and then you.
Oh, go on. Do it. Take action. Go.
So
Make
as
it-
these 4 things are rushing forward, I'm going to be running like I'm still kind of near the door, but I'm running to change my position so I can get an unblocked shot at them. As soon as I get there, I'll stop and then fire another arrow.
That's fine. You can do that. Make your volley roll to shoot at Jasper.
Come on, baby! Oh, look at that! Another 11, baby! I'm
You
glad I
roll
was
so
covering the
well in
screen there.
combat.
You wouldn't believe me if I didn't. So let's see. Another 4.
Okay, he screams, and you notice, Sanya, as this arrow thuds into him, like brilliant orange and red fire like flares around this arrow. You see that Blythe appears to have like hit the part that Rufus had like carved onto him, and just like normal looking fire burns the arrow to a crisp.
Ooh, that's not good. I'm gonna try and abuse this fire. So I needed to stop attacking people. So I'm gonna reach out for that fire. I'm gonna start controlling it, and I'm gonna say, "I told you we have you surrounded. I wasn't talking about people. Kovesh is here, and he's taking your soul. Now, where is the statue?" And call for gods.
I love that. Where is the statue? Oh, call if you
The
got.
statue.
Okay, make your roll to control the flame.
Oh, please, God, no. I
Make this a
still
good
use
one.
my... It's okay. 7,
Control
8,
the
9,
cheese
10. It's mine.
Okay, as he starts to like move forward as though to challenge you, and then it's almost as though like something's like stopping him or impeding his movements, and you can see there's like wisps of smoke and like flame coming out, like normal, healthy coloured flame coming out, and he's like,
Call off your gods
however,
or burn.
as he's
Sorry.
doing that, 'cause obviously he doesn't immediately go, God, stop, I'm burning, because he's like, the 4 robed figures hurl themselves toward you. 2 of them are going at you, Sanya. 1 at Rufus. 1's running towards you, Blythe, but he's not going to get to you this turn because you've positioned yourself. Okay, so Rufus, this guy hurls himself toward you with his dagger held aloft. As he does so, his hood falls back, and you see a normal human face underneath it. Make me a roll plus dex as he swings
Rufus,
his
you
dagger
can't
at you.
take damage. Like, Rufus, you literally can't get hit.
I am aware of this
You literally
predicament.
cannot fail this, Rufus. Do not
So,
fail this
so that's
roll.
a 9.
Oh my god!
Okay, roll me a d8.
Okay, John.
Oh, it's a 1. Okay.
You take 1 point of damage, ignoring 1 point of armor.
Oh, that
I
was
absorb it.
lucky.
As this guy
You know,
swings
one
his
or
dagger
two.
at you,
was
for
lucky.
a few moments you're like, "This is it. It's goodbye, White Raven." And then you almost like stumble, given how the weakened state you're in.
But he's
to your
just a
amazement,
man.
it just like grazes the top of your forehead. You can see that little look of disbelief on this like cultist's face as you pretty much drop to the ground and accidentally avoid his blow. Okay,
So you're
Blyleth.
saying he's surprised, John?
Oh yeah, he's very surprised. So Blyleth, there's one running towards you, but he's not got to you yet. He'll get to you next round.
Right. Right. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to be brave for, braver than I normally am. I'm going to yell at these guys as a free action. I know your names and where you live, but I'm going to shoot an arrow. I'm going to shoot an arrow
Okay,
at
but
Jasper.
before you roll your arrow shooting, make me a charisma roll.
Sure.
You look like, fuck, kill that guy.
8.
Okay, he sort of slows down a bit as you say that, which gives you a +1 to your shooting roll.
Awesome. Okay, I'll do that now. Oh, look at that. So that gives you another 11 with that +1.
Okay,
Motherfucker.
roll your damage.
6. Oh, yeah.
Okay, describe how you take out this guy.
So fire's pouring out of Jasper, and then he's shaken from saying his words. And finally, the third one, instead of a shoulder and arm, I catch him right in his left eye, and he just goes staggering backwards with a look of disbelief on his face as he kind of slowly crumples to the ground.
So was it Jasper you were shooting at rather than the cultist who's running towards you?
Yeah.
The cultist
Jasper.
charging you. There's a cultist literally charging at you.
No, I know. I'm willing to take the hit from that guy, Jasper. They got nothing left to fight for. That's
Okay,
my
yeah.
thinking.
As he's described it, that's what happens. Jasper falls to the ground with like smoke wisping out of him, and this arrow sticking out of his eye socket.
I'm like, I
The
had
boss
him.
is dead.
I had him, dude.
Okay,
Do I have to kill the person for it to be
these
so
two
equal worth?
cultists hurl themselves at you with these daggers, Sanya.
I'm gonna draw the symbol of conversion in the air and try and frighten him with that image.
Okay, make me a charisma roll.
Come on. Never mind, I get hit. That's great. I love it. Fucking leveling up next as soon as we sleep. I swear to God.
Okay, roll me 2d8.
Oh God, I'm gonna die.
You level up
Are there
if you don't
2d8
live through it.
separate attacks? It's very
Yes, they
important I
are
know
separate
this.
attacks. Each
Okay,
one
good.
ignores 1 point of armor.
Okay, good. I need to know that very important because I got a 5 and a 3.
Okay, so deduct the appropriate damage.
So then I also roll these for each, and I'm all right. I'm pretty good.
Okay, so these two cultists are hacking at you. They're not really doing much. You're sort of blocking their attacks. Okay, Rufus, you've got one of the cultists on you. He's swinging the dagger at you. What are you going to do?
Rufus,
Right.
get the fuck out of here.
So you said there's 2 of them. Sorry.
No, there's just one coming to you.
Okay.
Sanya's
So you said he
attracting
was
more attention.
surprised, John. So
He is surprised.
does that mean that I could actually backstab this guy for once in my life?
I'm going to say if you make me a dex roll, you can get that backstabbing.
Just for once in my life, I want to be cool.
You're running around him and stab him.
So that's 5,
fake
6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, I'm going to say you can do your backstab and your damage, but you are going to take some damage off him.
Oh my God!
So
I use burn twice as bright. You're not gonna die. Fuck! I'll save it for when you're dead. But you need to get this hit in.
As far as Rufus is concerned.
Wait. He could hit him for 1. You never know.
Okay,
No, I'm not taking that chance.
make the roll.
Right, so I've never actually done my backstab with my abilities now fully activated. So I can do a D8 plus a D6 for my backstab, and then an additional D6 for my level up move.
Yep, go for it.
Right. So please be good. So that's 12, 13 damage.
Okay, now roll me a d8.
Okay. Yeah. That's 3.
Okay, you take 4 points of damage, ignoring 1 point of armor.
I'm back at 0.
John, I used burn twice as bright.
How does that work? You have to refresh my memory.
It's the one that pushes the number up by 1 category.
All right, in which case...
But then right after I do it, I have to burn twice as long.
Okay, ignore his roll then. feel free to describe how you duck round him and backstab him to death.
So yeah, he tries to elbow me in the face with his sword arm, and I manage to catch it with my forearm, and I sort of swing around, and I get my dagger right in the square of his back, and I just push up, pulling his arm back with me, his forearm back, and just lift him up.
Yeah, and that's
And he
exactly
goes
what
down.
happens. You hear the last rasping breath escape him, and he goes limp.
With a question, soul of equal worth. I mean, I don't know how much this guy's worth in soul power. I don't know.
Start going hope for the best.
I just keep going, John.
Okay. So, Sanya, you've still got like two who are sort of near you. One of them is leaping to attack you. The other, having seen Rufus dispatch his friend, is just going to whip his dagger at Rufus.
Can I still feel a flame going
You
inside?
can skip me again.
Oh, go on.
Oh,
no,
sorry.
because I
Sorry,
have
my
no.
apologies,
go on.
Blythe.
Go on, Blythe.
No biggie. So this guy who's coming at me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fistful of gold coins, and I'm going to toss them and say, "Here, catch." And then I'm going to try and stab him if he does, or when he does.
I love it.
Whether he
Yeah,
doesn't.
his arms go out to like grab, almost instinctively, just to like grab whatever you've thrown at him. Make your roll to attack
That's a
him.
9.
Okay, I'm going to say he doesn't do you any damage because he's obviously caught these coins, so roll your damage.
All right. 4. Stab.
Okay,
We yell out as a bluff. Guards! They're in here!
okay. He falls to the ground. You can see he's still just about hanging on, but he's pretty much in no shape to do any harm to anyone. There's one of them left in front of you, Sanya. It's the one getting ready to whip his dagger at Rufus.
Oh, god damn it. Okay, with him down, maybe I can summon the flames again. I'm gonna try and summon a burning brand, summon
Go for
something
it, make
up.
your roll.
4, 5, 6. I fail again. Oh my god.
Mark XP. Okay, Rufus, make me a 2d6 roll plus dex.
Rufus, you're muted. Also, don't fail.
That's 8 total, John.
Okay, roll me a d8.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Took go 1. If that's
Did you just roll a 1?
yep.
Yeah.
You take 1 point of damage, ignoring 1 point
Oh
of
my
damage.
god.
As this dagger just grazes your head as it heads past you and
Okay.
clatters off the wall.
Okay.
Okay, Blyleth. There's
got
He's
one
saying
health
his
left,
attack
guys.
was a near miss.
Yeah, exactly. Blyleth, there's this guy who's sort of pretty much on his knees in front of you. If you want to finish him off, you can do.
Lloyd's
There's
done.
also the guy who's just thrown his dagger.
Fucking out. It's too much.
That's the guy I'm going. So
Okay.
so I'm gonna try and catch him with. I'm just gonna run at him. And, I'm angry now.
Go for it.
Shoo. Look at that.
Oh.
Roll your damage.
5. So I catch him like right across the neck as I'm going by, just like a little slice.
And you can finish him off if you wish, so feel free to narrate how that goes down.
Right, so it actually doesn't look like that bad a wound. It's just a very thin line of blood that appears on his neck, but his head kind of lolls and down he goes.
Okay.
I'll look over at Rufus to see if he's dead yet.
And the last of these cultists falls to the ground. Jasper Sursk is still lying on the ground, like with this arrow sticking out of his eye socket. He's still like twitching with smoke coming out of him, but he doesn't appear to be able to move.
I'll walk up to him as victorious as I am, and I'm gonna lean down and like feel for the flame inside and make sure it's still there. And I'm gonna look at him and go, I must have sit down because like fucking I was pacing too much. I was just too fucking nervous. I'm gonna look down at him and go, "You made me see my wife again, and for that I thank you. And then you made her an undead monstrosity that will haunt this world forever. And for that I owe you your death. You can either be taken back into the world of Corvish, which I will burn you to, or I will slice your throat and let you have a peaceful death away from that. Either way, choose and tell me where the statue is."
He looks at you and says, "I will tell you nothing. I fear no blade."
Then you will go back to Corvesh and you will burn for eternity inside his flames. Trust me, it's not very fun. I've been there.
Wait, what?
Well,
Then
not
if
that. I'm like, not that
if
specific.
you
No.
hate Kavresh as much as I do, then you should not be fighting against me.
What I fight against is the people of this land, and that's what I care about. You are an undead monstrosity and a necromancer. We are not the same. Don't even think that
I
we are.
am what Kavresh made me. And do you still think we are so different?
You're not different, you and I. I look at him and go, yes, we are. If you want to get vengeance on Convesh, you can do it on your own terms, in your own way. You don't sacrifice an entire people for it. That's how we're different. Now, where is the statue, or I send you back to him? And this time, there is no escape.
You hear like a low sort of rumbling laugh echo from his skull, and he still doesn't appear to be able to move properly. And he says, "No escape for you, perhaps." The door to the sarcophagus bursts open, and you see the rows of armoured skeletons with their spears standing there. He looks at you and says, "Let me leave, and I will spare your lives. Otherwise, we all die here."
I mean, I'm good to go.
Look,
Let's
you,
go.
you wanted Jasper. He's hurt. I say we go. Let's cut our losses.
I
I mean,
love
our
how
wins.
Rufus is
Right?
stood there sort of like bleary-eyed, like, I'm good to go, guys.
Go pick my sword up from the floor wherever it's been laid.
You pick your sword up, it takes a lot of effort for you to pick it up, given how injured you are.
My foot still hurts and I'm in a bad mood.
I could just kill him and we could be like, fuck it, and try and run. Or...
I mean, if you kill him, whatever's powering these things could die with him. You don't know.
But if they don't, we're definitely fucking dead.
As you say,
Well,
that,
but if we get out there, guards are going to help us and stuff.
Jasper says, "Do you not think that my workings are strong enough to last beyond my death? How little you know of sorcery, small injured human."
You must be talking to me.
I'm gonna take a deep breath and I'm gonna go, fine, we'll let you go. That tattoo on your chest will never leave. It's been branded by Kovesh himself and he'll find his own way to get you. But get out of my city.
And the statue, please.
And the statue, please. Also, tell what the statue is. It's really important to know where this is.
As you say that, he laughs a bit and his body starts to dissolve into mist. As he's dissolving, he points a hand at one of the sort of stone sarcophaguses on the wall and he says, "My word is my bond." And he points at this sarcophagus. Then his body dissolves into a mist and dissipates.
What did the soldiers do?
Yeah.
They remain sort of stood there as though they were like ready to come through the door, but they don't move any further.
Well, let's get out of here.
I'm leaning
One
against
of
one
the
of these
statues-
sarcophagus.
I'm going over the sarcophagus and I'm going to try and open it like without leaning over it. I don't know what's going on there. I have a feeling it's going to explode in my face. So
You prise the lid off it and you see this sarcophagus appears to be filled with earth, and nestled sort of like half buried in it is this small green draconic statue.
I'll just grab it under my arm. Can we go now?
I go, not
We need
just
to
yet.
destroy it.
Glogly, oh, he's not here. Huh.
Who's
well,
Glarg?
Long
I
story.
can't keep all these. You're
I'll
gonna have to
grab
tell
like
me.
I'll grab like one of like the spears that's like on the ground or something, or a weapon from the ground. I'm trying to try and break the statue on the spot.
Yeah, you pick up one of these curved daggers
I let him.
Yeah.
you're holding, and you smash the statue with it. There's a clattering from behind you as these skeletal gods just fall apart and like fall to the ground in a cascade of armor and bones.
What? If you knew that was going to happen, why didn't you just do that?
I look at
So
him go,
next time.
I'm gonna look at him and be like, you know what? I'm too tired. Let's just get out of here.
And as Sanya says, "Let's just get out of here," that is where we fade to black and the end credits start to roll. Thank you very much for playing in the
As
session.
we're walking away,
Yep.
can I just say, as we're walking away, you can hear me singing. You know,
You
you
singing
didn't
the
question my usefulness. I think I've proved it by now.
Great plan, guys. Great plan.
And that's where we fade to black. Thank you
I
very
look
much.
at the poster and I'm like,
thank you very much for playing in this session, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed running it. So I'm quite a bit to discuss XP and chat, etc. afterwards. But for now, I'm going to end the broadcast. So again,